It's Wednesday, January 21st. Today, a population milestone is Winnipeg prepared as the city's population takes another step closer to 1 million people. And where Manitoba's Liberal leader has decided to run to try and win his own seat in the Manitoba legislature, and the veteran politician lending him a hand. Plus, planning ahead how much one municipality is preparing to spend in preparation for the next wildfire season. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It is Wednesday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. We have a lot in the next 3 hours. Today is Bell Let's Talk Day. This is an annual event where we highlight people's struggles with mental illness and some of the services and outlets that they can turn to. And the theme this year is taking a moment for mental health, and that's for yourself, your family, and your community. Now, Ainsley McPhail is live with the Canadian Mental Health Association this morning, breaking it down for us. What are some of the programs available, some of the services if you're really struggling, or what to do every day so that you don't get to that point. So we're going to find out more about that. But sometimes the weather plays a big factor with our mental health as well.
Yes, it certainly does. I'm always one of those people that advocates, being a little bit proactive. And one of those ways that we can be somewhat proactive to our moods is getting outside for a stroll. I know it can be really hard when we're dealing with the stretch of weather as we have, but honestly, even if you bundle up and just got yourself outside for some fresh air and some sunshine, we might even see a little bit of that sunshine today. We could also see some scattered snow. But today will be likely the warmest day of the week, so there's a little bit of good news for us just ahead of a deep dive into the deep freeze. Minus 16 is where we're sitting right now. Feels like minus 22. The winds out of the west are 9 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 85%. There will be perhaps a little bit of scattered snow. You can see there was some last night. It was still falling as I was coming into work this morning. Just a very light dusting, and a few more flakes could be making an appearance throughout the day today. But you can also see how things are beginning to clear, starting in the north, moving into the southwest, and we might too start to see some of that clearing as the day goes on. But you'll also notice some very scattered, patchy flurry activity, so that possibility for a few flakes of snow is certainly there as well. I mentioned today might be the warmest day of the week. Not necessarily all day. These morning hours, we will see that temperature rising. We're at minus 16 right now. We could get to about minus 14, and then later on this afternoon, winds picking up. It'll be a northwest wind, could at times be gusting to 60 kilometers per hour. It's taking that temperature right down into the deepest of the deep freeze for the next couple of days, remaining in those mid to low 20s throughout the coming weekend. Next week, still below seasonal, though we're starting to see some minor improvements.
Thank you, Terry. Winnipeg has achieved a major milestone. According to new data from Statistics Canada, the city's population has surpassed 850,000. CTV's Harrison Shin has more on how this will affect our city.
Winnipeg is growing. According to Mayor Scott Gillingham, the city came in 5th for the largest total population increase in Canada.
We're just pushing the million population. That creates, as I said, I think a real sense of momentum and growth and excitement.
On Friday, Statistics Canada released population estimates for municipalities. As of July 1st, 2025, about 855,000 people called the PEG home, an increase of about 8,400 from July 2024. In 2023, it was 820,000, with 2024 reaching a little over 847,000. What contributed to the increase for the last 1 year? StatsCan says it was 610 due to births and deaths, 13,160 for net international migration, but Winnipeg also lost about 5,300 people to other Manitoba regions and other provinces. Lori Wilkinson is the Canada Research Chair in Migration Futures. She says the increase relies on immigration, so that may not last given recent immigration cuts.
If you're looking long term, it doesn't look like we're going to grow all that much, because nobody's going to grow all that much because we've cut back the major driver of population growth.
Wilkinson says the million-dollar question is, can the city keep up with the growth? Winnipeg's mayor admits the city may not have enough housing.
Even CMHC has says no, we don't. That's why the federal government, and we partner with them on some of their federal programs like the Housing Accelerator Fund to get more housing built, and built sooner, faster.
From a healthcare perspective, the Manitoba Association of Healthcare Professionals says the numbers explain a lot.
The front line is stretched beyond capacity. The demand for specialized services like respiratory therapy or diagnostic imaging is growing, and staffing has not kept up with population growth.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Wilkinson believes deep cuts to immigration will begin affecting our population growth as early as this year. More officers in Manitoba are wearing body cameras than ever before. The Manitoba First Nations Police Service says all officers across its 12 detachments are now equipped with the technology. The deployment started last year. Manitoba RCMP also confirmed all of its frontline officers are wearing the technology. As of November, RCMP had already collected more than 174,000 pieces of evidence from the cameras. U.S. President Donald Trump doubling down on his demands to own Greenland while speaking Tuesday at the White House. This comes after Trump said there was no going back on his plan, claiming the island is imperative for national security.
How far are you willing to go to acquire Greenland?
You'll find out.
Trump is scheduled to deliver a key address to an audience of global elites and billionaires today at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Prime Minister Mark Carney is wrapping up his 9-day trip around the world today after getting a rare standing ovation for his speech in Davos.
In a world of great power rivalry, the countries in between have a choice: compete with each other for favor, or to combine to create a third path with impact.
The Prime Minister told a room full of leaders that the world order is not transitioning, it's rupturing. He says countries like Canada must change how we operate. Prime Minister Carney also spoke directly about Greenland and U.S. President Trump's plans to take it over, saying Canada strongly opposes tariffs on Greenland. Carney is meeting with investors and other national leaders today before heading home to Ottawa this evening.
As a middle power, we have convening power. We have mechanisms in place, but we need to stand up for rules-based trade. We're a founding member of the WTO, and so we need to continue to be there to protect international trade, international rules-based trade.
Canada's International Trade Minister Maninder Sindhu spoke to reporters in Davos this morning, echoing Prime Minister Carney's remarks. Sindhu says Canada's presence at these international meetings is important to attract new trade, adding that it's also an important time for Canada to invest in itself. He also spoke about expanding trade and economic opportunities with India, particularly in agriculture and energy products. A Manitoba municipality is boosting its resources for combating wildfires in the future.
The Armapiney takes the wildfire season very serious. For us, it is our #1 risk within the municipality here.
Southeastern Manitoba's RM of Piney has earmarked just over $1 million from its budget towards wildfire preparedness. The investment comes after the RM was one of many impacted by significant wildfires last year. The budget includes the purchase of a 3,000-gallon water tanker truck. The RMCAO says funding from a provincial grant has enabled it to train up to 60 firefighters in the area on wildland firefighting training.
We really strive to give the firefighters, volunteer firefighters, the tools and technology that is necessary to do their job safely. So it's a major investment. It is actually about 27% of our total budget.
The RM recently secured a provincial grant for a thermal imaging drone to help identify hot spots on the ground. Piney is also working on finalizing a push alert notification system for residents when a wildfire is detected in the area. It hopes to have that up and running by the spring. It may feel like the ice age outside, but one Winnipeg homeowner is taking his neighborhood back into the Jurassic era. Lee Keast has sculpted a pair of dinosaurs out of snow and ice in front of his Aberdeen Avenue home, one of them towering over the area. Keast is no stranger to sculpting. He's created a number of scenes over the past 10 years, including a race car, dragon, Santa's sleigh and reindeer. This year's cold and thaw cycles pose a bit of a challenge as it affected the snow quality. As for Keast, he loves doing it, saying it helps him get out of the house.
It makes me feel good. That's what they're there for, is for the community to enjoy.
And Keast isn't done yet. He plans to build a dinosaur standing on 2 legs once he finishes some touch-ups on the existing 2. Well, those are fabulous. Here's a look outside now at what's happening on the Norwood Bridge. It looks like things are still pretty light at this point in the drive. We have no issues to tell you about. If you see anything out there, let us know, please. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live with the Canadian Mental Health Association this morning. We're talking about Bell Let's Talk Day. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, and can you believe it's already been 16 years of Bell Let's Talk? This year's theme is taking a moment for your mental health. And we were talking about it before camera, going, what are some ways that we can do this? For me personally, it's going on a power walk. So if you see me with some headphones in, walking with a strange look on my face, it's just try to just tune out the world, okay? Tune out the world. We are at the Canadian Association for Mental Health all morning long, talking about some of the resources that they have. And coffee chats are a great way to do this. They have one today. So if you come in between 10:30 and 1:30, you can take part in this. And they're doing this all throughout the province as well. So have a look at your specific location. Working out is also a way people can improve their mental health. And they also have a push-up challenge. We're going to be learning about that too. So stay with us throughout the morning.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's a little bit milder than it has been the last few days, Terry.
Yeah, our floor director, Carrie, came in this morning. He's like, it's so warm outside today. And I thought to myself, well, if you're calling this warm, it tells you what we've been dealing with for the past little while. Certainly, it is milder than it's been. But, I mean, as far as, here's the thing, we're actually above seasonal low temperatures. We might not get to those seasonal daytime highs, but we should get very close. The closest it will be all week. It will be brief because those temperatures won't likely continue to rise throughout the entire day, maybe till about midday before they start to drop off this afternoon. We are sitting, though, at minus 16, and a normal low would be minus 23. Even our wind chill value this morning at minus 21 is above that. The winds are light. They're out of the west-northwest, just 8 kilometers per hour. Pressure is falling, and the humidity is sitting at 85%. A little light snow is falling as well. That's why I've got the hood up, keeping my hair dry this morning. It is just a very light dusting of snow. It might reduce visibility just a little bit, especially if it does kick around in some of those outlying areas. And while the winds are light right now, that won't likely be the case all day long. Later this afternoon, or maybe about midday, those winds will be increasing out of the northwest. It could gust to about 60 kilometers per hour. It's going to bring in a colder air mass, driving those temperatures down through the afternoon. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Good morning. Winnipeg Mayor Scott Gillingham is voicing his concern over the chaos unfolding on the streets of Minneapolis. He's reached out to the city's mayor to express his dismay.
I hope to see a return to peace in your streets as your sister city, and that is absolutely my concern. I frankly can't imagine what he's going through as mayor.
Daily protests have been ongoing in Minneapolis since the U.S. Department of Homeland Security ramped up immigration enforcement. A lawsuit seeking an order to halt or limit the enforcement action was filed days after the fatal shooting of Renee Good by an ICE agent. U.S. President Donald Trump is calling on the judge to reject the lawsuit. Gillingham says all Canadians, including politicians at all levels, must band together.
There's no roadmap to deal with chaos. And what we're seeing now in the United States consistently from the leader is very chaotic. So I think that's why we as municipal leaders need to be standing in solidarity with our premiers and with our prime minister as well to try to sometimes respond and other times certainly to take a defensive and protective position for our interests.
Gillingham says he's tasked his staff with coming up with different scenarios or questions to pose to Winnipeg's different agencies to ensure the city is prepared for the changing world, be it an influx of Americans seeking a new home in Winnipeg or Canadian Armed Forces members being deployed elsewhere. The new leader of Manitoba's Liberal Party is changing up his playbook. Willard Reeves ran twice unsuccessfully in Fort White, losing to PC leader Abhi Khan. Now he's taking a crack at River Heights, currently held by the NDP. As CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, the seat was once a longtime Liberal stronghold, held by former Liberal leader John Gerard, and Reeves hopes to win it back.
Manitoba's Liberal Party leader is running a different route.
I just feel that River Heights represent the Liberal Party in a very big way.
Former Winnipeg Blue Bomber Willard Reeves has been Liberal leader for a few months, but does not have a seat in the legislature. As a previous candidate, Reeves ran twice in his backyard, Fort White, losing in a 2022 by-election and then in a 2023 general election to PC leader Abhi Khan. Now, he's putting his name forward in River Heights, a seat former Liberal leader John Gerard held onto for nearly 2.5 decades before the NDP took it in the last election.
John's been my mentor, and to be in a riding where he has done unbelievable, great work, I plan on continuing that.
Pollster Curtis Brown says the switch from Fort White to River Heights is logical.
But there is a certain base of Liberal support there in the province, probably more so than in Lindenwoods and the Fort White riding. So yeah, it makes sense.
I'm excited about Willard running in River Heights. There's lots of Liberals in River Heights.
Gerard is backing Reeves and plans on door knocking with him too.
I'm certainly ready to do what I can, and I think he's the right person for River Heights.
But Brown says it will be a challenge for Reeves to beat incumbent NDP, MLA and Cabinet Minister Mike Moroz.
It's still going to be pretty tricky, especially as long as the NDP remains as popular as they are.
Reeves says they can show voters a third option is the best choice, and as leader, it's crucial he wins a seat.
I think it's very critical that to start things off in a great way for Manitoba, we have to have the representation.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Reeves will likely officially become the Liberal candidate in River Heights today when the party holds a joint nomination meeting. At that meeting, Cindy Lamoureux is also set to be nominated again in Tyndall Park. The first shipment of Canadian beef to China in more than 4 years is being prepared. The federal agriculture minister says China is moving quickly after Ottawa struck a deal with Beijing to reduce tariffs. McDonald says he's aware of a Canadian company shipping its first load of beef to China next week. China banned Canadian beef in late 2021 after an atypical case of BSE, also known as mad cow disease, was found on an Alberta farm.
Quickly, this whole process has taken place. It's very interesting because when the door opened, it opened, and business people, and I got to give kudos to our stakeholders, farmers and processors, ranchers. They're ready.
We welcomed them reopening. To be honest, it should have been reopened 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago. There was never scientific justification for maintaining the closure.
A Chinese importer has also bought a shipment of about 60,000 metric tons of Canadian canola. It's the first order since China halted imports in October in the dispute over tariffs. Coffee lovers from around the world are in Dubai for one of the world's largest coffee conferences.
One of our dreams is to bring coffee to all the people who cannot travel so much. Our main motivation as a coffee farm, it is for sure the people.
World of Coffee Dubai has brought in 17,000 visitors and more than 450 exhibitors from more than 130 countries. It's meant to highlight the deep cultural and economic ties that coffee creates worldwide. It also gives people a chance to explore the full supply chain behind the industry. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The eastbound curb lane on Ness Avenue will be closed from Hampton to Barrie. Following the rush, the westbound curb lane on Manitoba Avenue will be closed from McPhillips to McNichol. And on Mountain Avenue, the westbound curb lane will be closed between Andrews and McGregor. If you see any other problems out there, let us know, please.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
We're taking a look now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. We are dealing with probably the warmest that we'll experience throughout the next stretch of days. I know it's been very, very cold. This brief warm-up will be that, very brief, because by later on this afternoon, those temperatures starting to drop off again, and by the overnight hours, we are back in the deep freeze, perhaps even more so than what we were experiencing at the start of the week or last weekend. Where we are right now is quite pleasant, -16, and that comes with a fairly light wind. Similar temperatures through the southern half of the province, just in those low to mid -teens. A little bit colder over in Brandon, -18 right now. Your sky is looking a little bit clearer, and that often happens as the clouds move on out of the way. You can see it's a lot colder, though, as we're still looking up into parts of northern Manitoba with mid to high -20s. As the actual temperatures. That's even before we're factoring in the winds. You add that wind, a wind chill value of -42 at the moment in Churchill. Here in Winnipeg, feeling like -22, feeling more like -28, though, off to the west in Brandon, where it was a little bit colder yet. Now, we can see on the satellite image the clouds that are already beginning to break up a little bit. There was some light snow. There still is. I noticed that when I was upstairs on the rooftop. It's very fine, very light dusting of snow that we're noticing out there this morning, but it could hang around throughout the day today. Minus 14 as our expected high today. Minus 13 normal for this time of year, but by this afternoon that already begins to slide. Overnight it falls even further yet into the deep freeze, as I mentioned, and it's going to be a rude awakening as we're settling into those high minus 20s, mid minus 20s, and the overnight lows that'll be taking us into the minus 30s at times over the next couple of days. Still got to get out for those strolls. I mean, Honey Bear and Gibson wouldn't want to be left disappointed. Thanks to Rick for the photo. Keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Good morning. A new survey suggests optimism about aging fell sharply over the last year, with financial insecurity and loneliness dampening how many Canadians feel about their golden years. The National Institute on Aging surveyed just over 6,000 adults aged 50 and older last summer for its 4th annual report of perspectives on growing older. While 57% of respondents still said they had positive feelings about aging, it's down from 62% the year prior. The latest findings show older adults increasingly can't afford to retire when they'd hoped to, feel at risk of social isolation, and 59% said they are lonely. The next Sphere could soon be coming to Baltimore. The National Seashore Sphere would be a smaller version than the one in Vegas. It would seat about 6,000 people compared to the 18,000-seat venue in Vegas. If approved, it would be built near the city's MGM Casino and take 3 to 4 years to complete. A growing number of Canadians are open to having AI do their shopping for them. A new report suggests artificial intelligence is quickly becoming part of how Canadians shop. CTV's Dave Charbonneau reports.
It's a shopping trend which is catching on, using artificial intelligence or AI to shop and pay online.
Well, I mean, it's not a horrible idea, I would say.
Drew Roberts says the process of shopping can be a chore sometimes, and this new technology can help speed things up.
I guess it's definitely time consuming doing the shopping, right? So yeah, I mean, but they do have the apps now on some some places. You see that it's just pick up, right?
One technology analyst says convenience is a big part of the appeal.
You know, we want it to be easier. We don't want to have to open up all these different apps and different websites and, you know, compare all sorts of different things on our smartphone in the middle of a store. Instead, we want to just tell it with a prompt, go find me the best deal on this product.
A report by payments company Adyen shows AI shopping is surging, especially with younger consumers. 45% of Gen Z and 44% of millennials in Canada use AI when shopping.
I use ChatGPT to ask them what's the difference between two products, and they will give me all the details about those products.
The report found 51% of Canadians are open to artificial intelligence completing a purchase for them, and 30% say they're already using AI when they shop, up from 11% last year. But not everyone is ready to change their habits yet.
Would you ever use AI for your online shopping?
No.
To do all your shopping for you?
No, I wouldn't. No, I will not use AI at all.
At this point, I'm not sure. I have a need for it.
No. Why not?
I just don't like using AI.
Retail analyst Bruce Winder says trust on using AI for shopping depends on the source of the data.
If you're on Amazon, they have their own built-in AI agent called Rufus, which is 100% accurate because it's all their data. But if you're not on Amazon and you're shopping through some of the other places or even searching through ChatGPT or what have you, there is still questions about the accuracy of the data.
As for retailers, the study shows that 78% are open to adapting to the new AI shopping technology. Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
All right, here's a look outside at Kenniston Boulevard. Things are slowly picking up in this part of the city. We'll be back after this short break.
Minus 16 this morning with a wind chill value of minus 21. Seems mild, doesn't it? It is technically, both compared to where we've been and even compared to what is normal for this time of year. Minus 23 would be that seasonal low, and we are a lot closer to a daytime high at this moment. We got winds out of the west-northwest, 8 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 85%. Yeah, a normal daytime high would be about minus 13. So we're starting out at minus 16. There is a little bit of light flurry activity. It's very fine dusting dusting of snow still coming down right now, and we might notice that off and on throughout the day today. But the temperature still should climb another couple of degrees to about -14, -13, that normal daytime high. So certainly getting closer to that. And then that little asterisk there, meaning the temperatures will likely be dropping this afternoon, and that'll happen as these winds out of the northwest increased to about 60 kilometers per hour, so some intense winds driving that temperature down. And boy, once it starts to fall, is it ever on a deep slide down to -29 overnight. Still with those stronger winds throughout the overnight hours. Possibility of some flurries. We'll start to see the clouds breaking up a little more, setting us up for even more sunshine tomorrow. But colder temperatures. From -29, our low will rise to a high of -27. That does not even get close to those overnight lows, never mind seasonal daytime highs. And from there, we're going to see very similar temperatures continuing for a stretch of days. At least through the weekend, we'll be in those low to mid -20s, but still below seasonal as we scrape ourselves up to the -18s into the start of next week.
Thank you, Terry. The family of a Fisher Branch man who suffered a fatal heart attack in March during a 911 outage is suing its telecom service provider. In the statement of claim, Dean Switzer's brother Greg accuses TELUS of neglecting its duty to provide continuous 911 service, failing to properly train its workers on what to do if the system fails, and making sure a proper fail-safe was in place. It goes on to say Dean's death was a direct result of those alleged failures, and he would have survived had the 911 service been working. In a brief statement to CTV News, a TELUS spokesperson acknowledged the grief Switzer's family is going through and says the company has taken a number of steps to make its network more resilient. No statement of defense has been filed and none of the claims has been tested in court. TELUS previously acknowledged there was a 38-hour outage during that time, but instead laid the blame on another telecom company, Bell, saying it only leases the 911 network. It also said the technicians sent to investigate the problem did not alert higher-ups that the 911 system was compromised. Bell is the parent company of CTV News. The union representing respiratory therapists in Manitoba warns vacancy rates at some Winnipeg hospitals have reached dangerous levels. The Manitoba Association of Healthcare Professionals says there are 50 vacant positions across the city's 3 acute care centers, Health Sciences Centre, St. Boniface Hospital, and Grace Hospital. That's a vacancy rate of 25, 36, and 42% respectively. Even with existing respiratory therapists working thousands of overtime hours, the union says there are still not enough to fill baseline staffing requirements, putting patients' health at risk.
Respiratory therapists have highly specialized skills that are required in the ER or ICU environment, the intensive care unit, and they are a core part of the team that give patients the best chance of survival, stabilizing what is very often life and death situations.
The union is calling on the province to begin offering incentives for full-time work, night shifts, and those who work in emergency departments. It also wants to see more scholarships or bursaries to encourage people to get trained in the field, as it says the number of students enrolled right now will not offset the number who plan to retire. In an emailed statement to CTV News, Health Minister Uzama Azaguera says the province has doubled the number of funded respiratory training seats, and they say the province is working with the University of Manitoba to make sure those seats are filled. The minister goes on to say, quote, respiratory therapists have seen improvements through collective agreements, including increased shift premiums and rural and northern differentials. At the same time, we're focused on awareness, education, and early job connections so more people choose this profession and build long-term careers in Manitoba. The standoff over Greenland and the threat of fresh tariffs has reignited fears on Wall Street of a trade war, with all 3 major U.S. market indexes plunging. But that wasn't the case on Bay Street, in part because of gold, which reached another record high. Here's CTV's John Venevali-Rao.
So this is the 1-ounce gold Canadian maple leaf.
Justin Yampolsky showed us a typical 1-ounce gold coin that just today shot up in value more than $100, with Donald Trump's threats adding to gold's shine in a huge way.
It is really showing how economically uncertain the entire world is. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Everybody is kind of hedging their bets, and everybody just wants security, however they can find it.
Precious metals are seen as a safe haven in times of turmoil, and Trump creating plenty of that, with gold surging past $4,700 an ounce for the first time ever.
We've reached numbers a lot quicker than I would have expected.
After a stunning 66% rise last year, gold is already up more than 9% in the month of January. In part, central banks have been buying it as countries pivot away from the U.S. dollar.
Stocks are still sharply lower, but they're off the worst level.
And today, investors were selling U.S. stocks, markets down sharply, what some called the Sell America trade. While Toronto's main index fared better, in part because gold mining stocks were on the rise. Canada is the fourth largest gold producer in the world, behind China, Russia, and Australia. In northern Ontario, the Madsen gold mine started up operations again just last year under new ownership. It was closed for decades when the price of gold was low and now employs 280 people.
It's a very exciting time for Canadian gold miners, for sure. I mean, it's fun to be mining gold when a gold bull market is on.
A gold boom that's driving more investment in Canadian mines and boosting the value of Canadian exports.
As for gold's strong run, some bank analysts believe it could hit $5,000 US an ounce by the end of the year. John Benavalli-Rouse, CTV News, Toronto.
Here's a look at what's happening in traffic now at Confusion Corner. It looks like things are slowly picking up over here. The streets are a little bit slippery and bumpy in some parts, so be mindful of that when you head out this morning. Let's take a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average stands at $1.27. The provincial average is $1.19. In Winnipeg, the average is lower at $1.18. And the lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.09. All this information is on gasbuddy.com. Coming up, it's Bell Let's Talk Day today. The theme is taking a moment for mental health. We're going to have more coverage after the break. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
If you're thinking about getting outside for a walk today, and I highly recommend you do, I recommend you do every day if you can. It'll make you feel a little bit better, but today's a day that you want to schedule that, if you can, into the earlier part of your day, because these morning hours will certainly be the best of what Mother Nature is going to be dishing up. Minus 16 is where we're sitting right now. Minus 21 the wind chill value. Those are above seasonal low temperatures and a lot closer to normal daytime highs. And even the winds are on the lighter side right now, 8 kilometers per hour out of the west-northwest. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 85%. A little bit of light snow out here, but it's looking kind of pretty. Everything looks so fresh and clean. And then there's going to be a bit of a change up with the conditions throughout the day today. We're still likely to rise another couple of degrees over the morning hours, getting us closer to those normal daytime highs. So, like I said, the morning will certainly be the best of the day, because later on this afternoon or late this morning, those winds will be increasing. At times they could be gusting to about 60 kilometers per hour, and those temperatures will start to drop off. And it's going to be a deep, quick slide into the deep freeze, and then that deep freeze takes hold, which is where we'll stay through the rest of this week and coming weekend. We've got Ainsley McPhail out and about this morning. Let's check in where she's at and what she's got going on this morning. Hey, Ainsley.
Hi, good morning. We're at the Canadian Mental Health Association in Winnipeg, many chapters throughout Manitoba. Stephen Sutherland joins us now. And did I bury the lead? Bell Let's Talk Day. We're talking all things mental health, and well over a decade that we've had this partnership. Can you believe it?
16 years. It's hard to believe. Moving from stigma and awareness to connection. It's about living in the moment today.
And that's part of this year's theme as well. You're inviting people to come on in.
Absolutely. So we have an event happening at 10:30 today, really about helping people build that capacity to stay in the moment and to really have a mindset of gratitude. There's things every day that we do that we can be really thankful for, our family, our friends, the connections, and certainly this place where people feel safe, where people feel connected. And we invite everybody to take that moment today to come and let's talk mental health.
And why is this so beneficial, the connection piece? Because, yeah, we're sitting here smiling, but this stuff is hard.
Absolutely. And I think, one of the greatest mental illnesses that we have is loneliness. And so this is another opportunity for people to say, you know what? I'm worthy of connection. I'm worthy of somebody being in my life, speaking into my life, speaking into each other's lives to find that connection. And so, yeah, days can be hard. Winter, the weather is what we can expect in Winnipeg, but all those barriers, we can overcome those barriers when we connect and learn those pieces of how do I stay in the moment.
And some people just need resources too. That's why they're coming to the various chapters in this province and across Canada. Let's talk about what is available before we're out of time today.
Yeah, so in terms of resources, there's something for everyone at CMHA. So whether you're a youth or you're an older adult, we encourage people to head over to our website, cmhacrossmb.ca. And again, you know, we want people to connect. So whether it's Recovery College, you'll hear about that today, about some of the courses that we do, the trainings, the workplace mental health, psychological health and safety. All those pieces allow us to stay in the moment.
Thank you for solving all of it in just 3 minutes or less. It's amazing. Okay, Bell, Let's Talk Day. We'll see you soon.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones is 71 points down. The Nasdaq lost 48 points. The S&P index is slightly lower. The Canadian dollar had no significant changes. Overseas, the Hang Seng added 97 points, and the Nikkei is 216 points lower. Good morning. It is 6:46. If you couldn't get a hold of 311 on Tuesday, you were not alone. The city's 3 call centers were down for much of the day. The City of Winnipeg posted on social media mid-morning that 311, Water and Waste, and Winnipeg Transit call centers were all experiencing unexpected issues and weren't able to take any calls. Residents were asked to submit their service requests online instead. The city shared an update shortly before 3 Tuesday afternoon, saying the phone lines were operational once again. CTV News has reached out for details on the outage. 3 infrastructure projects in Brandon are getting a funding boost from the province. $400,000 will help establish a consolidated waste and recycling site at Eastview Landfill. Another $400,000 will go toward renovating team change rooms and public washrooms at Andrews Field. And $235,000 will be used to resurface the parking lot at the Brandon Community Sportsplex. Brandon's mayor says this will help reduce municipal taxes in the Wheat City by 2%.
There's 3 projects, and they're all one-off, one-time costs that are in our budget. The province is covering those, so they're removed from the budget, so they reduce the taxes.
Municipal and Northern Relations Minister Glenn Simard says other municipalities will also be receiving support through the One Manitoba Growth Revenue Fund announced last year. A Manitoba municipality is boosting its resources for combating wildfires in the future.
The RM of Piney takes the wildfire season very serious. For us, it is our #1 risk within the municipality here.
Southeastern Manitoba's RM of Piney has earmarked just over $1 million from its budget towards wildfire preparedness. The investment comes after the RM was one of many impacted by significant wildfires last year. The budget includes the purchase of a 3,000-gallon water tanker truck. The RMCAO says funding from a provincial grant has enabled it to train up to 60 firefighters in the area on wildland firefighting training.
We really strive to give the firefighters, volunteer firefighters, the tools and technology that is necessary to do their job safely. So it's a major investment. It is actually about 27% of our total budget.
The RM recently secured a provincial grant for a thermal imaging drone to help identify hot spots on the ground. Piney is also working on finalizing a push alert notification system for residents when a wildfire is detected in the area. It hopes to have that up and running by spring. Newly released surveillance video shows the heist in action at Paris's Louvre Museum last October. It shows 2 thieves using saws and then smashing into glass cases inside the Apollo Gallery to snatch a $102 million worth of crown jewel. 3 months later, French investigators say 4 men are in custody, including the 2 in this video, but the jewels are still missing. The Winnipeg Jets return from their brief sojourn in the Windy City back to the Canada Life Centre for Tuesday night matchup against the St. Louis Blues. Jets open the scoring with about 10 minutes left in the first. On the power play, this pass from Mark Scheifele to Josh Morrissey, who powers it home, and now it's 1-0 for the Jets. Just about a minute 30 later, the Jets again on the power play, and Scheifele takes it to the right to the Blues net. No mistake on this one, and the Jets are up 2-0. The Blues pull to within 1, but this empty netter by Scheifele seals it for Winnipeg. The final, Jets 3, Blues 1. Winnipeg netminder Eric Comrie getting the win with 22 saves. The Jets will host the Florida Panthers on Thursday. Game time is 7 p.m. Here's some road closures to remind you about this morning. The eastbound curb lane on Ness Avenue will be closed from Hampton to Barrie following the rush. The westbound curb lane on Manitoba Avenue will be closed from McPhillips to McNichol, and on Mountain Avenue, the westbound curb lane will be closed between Andrews and McGregor. If you have any other traffic tips, text them to us, please, at 10400.
Minus 16 this morning, but feeling more like minus 21. Even still, that wind chill value factored in is above a seasonal low temperature. What a nice way to be kicking off your Wednesday morning compared to where we've been or where we're headed. 8K winds out of the west-northwest with the pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 85%. So yes, today will be the one day with above seasonal start to the day. We might not quite get to those seasonal daytime highs before those temperatures start to drop off later today. You can see we're already experiencing some clearing in the far north and a little bit more so along this western border. Still with the extra clouds hanging over us, and there's even been a little bit of light snow that's been falling all morning long. We could see more of that off and on throughout the day today. Temperatures across northern Manitoba have already hit the deep freeze. Your expected highs today will have you in those low to mid or even high minus 20s. The northwest might be just a few degrees warmer, pushing up into the high minus teens for some. Further into the north, you're into those low to mid minus 20s as well. For us here in the south, like I said, it could be the mildest day of the week. Some might even surpass that seasonal high of minus 13. Through west central Manitoba, minus 12s are showing up for places like Swan River, Dauphin. Those winds, they will be increasing later on today. Brandon's already got that wind icon tucked in there. We will see those winds increasing as well, and as they do, those temperatures will drop off. So minus 14 will be our expected high, and we'll likely reach that by about midday or early afternoon, and then later on into the afternoon, the temperatures begin to drop, and then they continue to plummet in the overnight hours, all the way down to minus 29 and barely budging for tomorrow. The rest of this week and weekend, we're going to be stuck in the deep freeze. We're talking mid to high minus 20s. Next week, we'll see some slight improvements, but still not getting to the seasonal high of minus 13.
Today is Bell Let's Talk Day, Canada's biggest national conversation about mental health. This is the 16th year for the annual event promoting mental health awareness and conversation. This year's theme is taking a moment for mental health, urging people to make self-care a priority and to check in on others. Bell is giving $10 million towards Canadian mental health, bringing its total Bell Let's Talk investment to $194 million since 2010. Bell is the parent company of CTV News. With pickleball more popular than ever, there are growing calls to address the use of so-called crushed paddles. They can send balls flying at high speeds, and many say the paddles threaten both the integrity and safety of the sport. CTV's Martin McMahon reports.
At the Hollyburn Country Club in West Vancouver, eye protection is now mandatory for competitive play. While accidents are rare, they can be serious, and some in the pickleball community are warning about so-called crushed paddles, where the honeycomb core becomes compromised. It creates a trampoline effect where the ball can spring at a faster than normal speed.
And it causes these newer paddles to hit the ball harder and to have the ball come off faster off the face.
There are ways you can check your paddle according to Pickleball BC.
If you push the paddle in the middle, you'll hear cracking or it'll be spongy. So then you have to decide, well, do I still play with this and have an unfair advantage and maybe hurt somebody? No, we're not going to do that. So I'm going to get a new paddle.
Pickleball is generally played at a slower pace than other racket sports, allowing athletes to extend their playing days.
Our average age in our group is 81 and up. So you're looking at some players that are 87, 88. They're still playing. Probably not as well as they were 10 years ago, let's say, but they are playing, and it's great to see them out, getting exercise, and just enjoying the game.
But concerns over crushed paddles is renewing the discussion over the use of goggles or glasses. Darlene Lanchbury lost an eye in 2022 playing the sport in Williams Lake and urges everyone to protect their eyes.
The ball comes at you at a very high rate of speed from a very short distance, and your reaction time is a fraction of a second. Many high-level players have been hit in the eye, and you can get hit by your own teammate.
While the sport's proponents believe safety is key, they emphasize the health benefits of staying active, with 21,500 members registered with Pickleball BC. Martin McMahon, CTV News, West Vancouver.
This is a game we'd like to call How Fast Does It Freeze? Temperatures in Inner Mongolia dipped to -33 this week. Members at its meteorological bureau decided to stage an experiment to show how cold it is outside. Items like laundry, noodles, and bubbles froze within seconds. A pair of Vancouver best friends goes on walks together every day, and it's about more than just fitness. As CTV's Adam Sawatsky shows you, they're searching for inspiration to be the best versions of themselves.
Thank you.
Ruth with the paws.
Good girl.
And Delilah with the treats.
Good girl.
Or more than just pup and person.
She's my best friend. I love her.
Ruth is also the sort of friend who, no matter the weather, no matter the mood,
Sometimes I'm tired and I just don't really feel like doing it.
encourages Delilah to get out and pursue her passion.
I feel like within like the first 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, this is my favorite thing. So I like doing it.
Because although this begins like any ordinary dog walk,
I need to give her a little attention before I can lock in with the singing.
it evolves into an extraordinary vocal workout. While Delilah Fabiola is a singer who's working on her own album after recording vocals for her friends, Ruth plays multiple roles.
She just inspires me to be the best version of myself.
Now she's a canine coach, walking up to 3 hours a day to push her person to keep improving her performance.
Every day.
Every day.
Every single day, yeah.
Ruth can also be a cheerleader, wagging her tail when Delilah hits all the right notes.
I've played songs that I've made, and I've seen her kind of look at like the speaker and look at me, and it's cute.
On the other hand, whenever life feels out of tune, Ruth is a consistent and cuddly confidant.
I love her. She's my baby.
While other creative collaborators, from Lennon and McCartney to Sonny and Cher, may be better known, you can bet that Delilah Fabiola and Ruth will never stop making meaningful music together.
Because she's the greatest love of my life, I think.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.
Not sure if you'd be singing while walking outside in these kinds of conditions, but overall, traffic is moving quite well starting off this Wednesday morning. We'll be back after this short break. Stay with us. It's Wednesday, January 21st. Today, a growing city, how Winnipeg's population has increased over the last few years. Plus, perspectives on aging, why people are feeling less optimistic about their golden years. And improving access, why it will soon be easier to obtain legal services in French. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. It is 7 o'clock on your Wednesday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. At 7:52, we're going to hear from the Manitoba Lung Association. It's not too bad today, but when it's going to get really cold later this week, that extreme cold can really affect the way people breathe.
Oh, I noticed that. I was talking about that with Chris the other day, one of our floor guys. That
just taking that first breath is like, wow, it's
it
shocking.
hurts. It is shocking.
So imagine if you have lung issues and how that could affect your breathing throughout the day. So we're going to find out a little bit more on what some of the risks are and what you can do to protect yourself and avoid problems at this time of year as well. But today it's a milder version of what's to come.
At least to start out. I don't think it's going to last all day long, but we will throughout the day experience the most pleasant conditions, if you will, of what we've had or what we'll get, because it's only going to get worse, if you can believe it, from where we've been. But you're right, today is the little bit of a reprieve that we can enjoy. It's -16 right now, feeling like -21. A little bit of light snow falling, the winds remaining light. For now, they're 8 kilometers per hour out of the west-northwest. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 85%. Those winds are likely to increase. That'll be happening a little bit later on today. And as they do, those temperatures will start to slide a little bit. Until then, though, with these light winds this morning, temperatures on the rise, and it will be the most pleasant morning that we'll experience throughout this week. It just will get a little bit rougher later on this afternoon. Satellite image really not showing much. The clearer conditions across northern Manitoba with a little bit of light and scattered snow. That could be off and on throughout the day today, but we'll also see some breaks in those clouds, letting moments of sunshine through. Now, I mentioned those winds increasing later on today and taking those temperatures on a bit of a ride, a slide, in fact, down into the deep freeze, which is where we're going to be headed over overnight and where we're going to stay then for the rest of the week and the weekend. It will be clearing out, so after today we will be seeing a lot more sunshine, and honestly the best thing that I could hope is that eventually those winds taper off, because these conditions will be far easier to endure if we're not dealing with winds on top of it. Those winds this afternoon, however, will be increasing, gusting perhaps to 60 kilometers per hour. That's what's going to bring in the colder air mass that will be experiencing throughout the rest of the week and coming weekend. Frosty, drawn by or colored by Natalie, 4 years old. Thank you very much. Put a smile on my face. And we'd love to see more of your art. To share those smiles all around, send your picture to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Thank you, Terry. Winnipeg has achieved a major milestone. According to new data from Statistics Canada, the city's population has surpassed 850,000. CTV's Harrison Shin has more on how this will affect our city.
Winnipeg is growing. According to Mayor Scott Gillingham, the city came in 5th for the largest total population increase in Canada.
We're just pushing the million population. That creates, as I said, I think a real sense of momentum and growth and excitement.
On Friday, Statistics Canada released population estimates for municipalities. As of July 1st, 2025, about 855,000 people called the PEG home, an increase of about 8,400 from July 2024. In 2023, it was 820,000, with 2024 reaching a little over 847,000. What contributed to the increase for the last 1 year? StatsCan says it was 610 due to births and deaths, 13,160 for net international migration, but Winnipeg also lost about 5,300 people to other Manitoba regions and other provinces. Lori Wilkinson is the Canada Research Chair in Migration Futures. She says the increase relies on immigration, so that may not last given recent immigration cuts.
If you're looking long term, it doesn't look like we're going to grow all that much, because nobody's going to grow all that much because we've cut back the major driver of population growth.
Wilkinson says the million-dollar question is, can the city keep up with the growth? Winnipeg's mayor admits the city may not have enough housing.
Even CMHC has says no, we don't. That's why you know, the federal government, and we partner with them on some of their federal programs like the Housing Accelerator Fund to get more housing built, and built sooner, faster.
From a healthcare perspective, the Manitoba Association of Healthcare Professionals says the numbers explain a lot.
The front line is stretched beyond capacity. The demand for specialized services like respiratory therapy or diagnostic imaging is growing, and staffing is not kept up with population growth.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Wilkinson believes deep cuts to immigration will begin affecting our population growth as early as this year. First Nations organizations are paying tribute to a longtime Indigenous physician, researcher, and advocate. First Nations Health Organization, KIM, says its CEO, Dr. Barry Lavallee, has died unexpectedly. In an online statement, it says he was a fearless advocate for those who faced injustice and harm. MKO put forward a statement as well, saying he was a, quote, true champion of First Nations health and well-being who offered a steady hand and reassuring presence during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs says he was a member of the Métis community of Saint Laurent and dedicated his life to improving health and wellness for First Nations and Métis people. It goes on to say he fought tirelessly for First Nations people and challenged injustice wherever it existed. A new survey suggests optimism about aging fell sharply over the last year, with financial insecurity and loneliness dampening how many Canadians feel about their golden years. The National Institute on Aging surveyed just over 6,000 adults aged 50 and older last summer for its 4th annual report of perspectives on growing older. While 57% of respondents said they still had positive feelings about aging, it's down from 62% the year prior. The latest findings show older adults increasingly can't afford to retire when they'd hoped to, feel at risk of social isolation, and 59% said they're lonely. Francophone Manitobans will soon have an easier time accessing legal services. The province is shifting some French-speaking staff members from various different departments to one centralized hub located at St. Boniface Court Office. Officials say you'll be able to get help with court forms, scheduling, interpretation, legal advice, victim services, and family resolution services there.
instead of being sent to many offices or departments in different areas, users will now have this one-stop shop, a coordinated point of contact and access for justice services.
Justice Minister Matt Wiebe says the expanded facility will open February 17th. Here's a look now at what's happening in traffic along Portage Avenue. Things are moving well starting off this Wednesday morning. If you see any problems out on the streets, let us know, please.
Another Canadian company is moving its headquarters to the U.S. GFL Environmental says it's relocating from the Toronto area to Miami Beach, but its jurisdiction of incorporation will remain Ontario. GFL's CEO says, quote, consistent with our desire to access a wider global investor base across both passive and active strategies, the relocation of our executive headquarters broadens our eligibility for participation in U.S. equity indices while preserving our eligibility for inclusion in Canadian equity indices. A KPMG survey last year found around 50% of Canadian companies were considering moving parts or all of their operations to the U.S. OpenAI says it will minimize water use and pay for energy infrastructure upgrades needed to power its data centers. We're being good neighbors, the company says, directly addressing the growing opposition to AI projects amid rising utility bills. We commit to paying our own way on energy so that our operations don't increase your electricity prices. That's from OpenAI. Microsoft made a similar promise in the last year. The number of data center projects canceled in the U.S. doubled in 2025 compared to 2024. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Today is Bell Let's Talk Day. It's been 16 years since Bell has been doing this program. Tell us more, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle.
Good
yes,
morning.
Bell Let's Talk. 16 years. Can you believe it has even reached that milestone, moving the stigma for mental health in this community? Today we're at the Canadian Mental Health Association. Now, as a community reporter, I'm expected to be smiling all the time, right? No matter what. Somebody has passed away, or I've been dumped, or I'm in the bathroom crying. I come out here and say, good morning, Manitoba. Good morning. But the truth is, I don't always want to be smiling. You don't always want to be smiling. I want to bring you joy. That is my ultimate goal. And I hope that I've been able to do that. We have been able to do that through this program. A woman approached me going through cancer treatment, and she said that those little flakes of joy during that was what helped her get through it. Now, this isn't about me. I'm not a martyr. This is my job. But I know that when it comes to mental health, it's not easy. That's why we need to have these conversations. Manitobans deal with this more so in a lot of ways than other people. Highest rate of child poverty, higher than the national average when it comes to substance abuse, suicide rates, a massive disparity with our Indigenous population, and people want to help. I see it every single day. Main Street Project, Silo Mission, Agape Table, Lighthouse Mission, people going through the unthinkable. And people like in this building right now want to help, and they truly care. So when it's Bell Let's Talk, good morning, Manitoba, all I want to do is make you laugh, because sometimes that's all it takes. Rochelle.
Thank you, Ainsley. All right, let's go out to the rooftop now. How's it feeling out there, Terry? You make us laugh every day, too.
Thank you very much. Yeah, well, I mean, I do put honest effort every day into, you know, the gratitude practice, the getting outside, the getting a little bit of a workout, things that you can do for your mental health. And today, Mother Nature, she's actually coming through for us because these temperatures are the mildest that we're going to get throughout this week. I know it's been very cold and it's about to get colder yet, but we are getting a slight break today. That being said, we dropped a degree from last hour. We're sitting right now at minus 16. Minus 23 with the wind chill, but the winds, they're still on the lighter side, just 10 kilometers per hour out of the west-northwest. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 86%, and a little bit of light snow is falling out here this morning, just making things look all fresh and clean. However, it might mess up the traction on the streets and sidewalks, so do keep that in mind if you're going for a walk. And if you're or going to fit a walk into your day, if you have the opportunity, get it in the morning hours, because these will be the most pleasant of what we can expect throughout the day today. And the difference will be those winds increasing later today that will start to take that temperature down a few degrees. We should likely get to a high of about -14, very close to the seasonal -13, but we're going to fall far from it in the overnight hours and stay far from it through the rest of this week and weekend, with our expected daytime highs in the high -20s and those overnight lows pushing into the -30s.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
It's time now for our question of the day. Today is Bell Let's Talk Day, as we've been saying, and we're asking, what do you do to take care of your mental health? You can text your answer to 10400 and make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name, please. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, whether they're furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to Pet of the Week at ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back after this with more news and some entertainment. Good morning. The family of a Fisher Branch man who suffered a fatal heart attack in March during a 911 outage is suing its telecom service provider. In the statement of claim, Dean Switzer's brother Greg accuses TELUS of neglecting its duty to provide continuous 911 service, failing to properly train its workers on what to do if the system fails, and making sure a proper fail-safe was in place. It goes on to say Dean's death was a direct result of those alleged failures, and he would have survived had the 911 service been working. In a brief statement to CTV News, a TELUS spokesperson acknowledged the grief Switzer's family is going through and says the company has taken a number of steps to make its network more resilient. No statement of defense has been filed, and none of the claims have been tested in court. TELUS previously acknowledged there was a 38-hour outage during that time, but instead laid the blame on another telecom company, Bell, saying it only leases the 911 network. It also said the technicians sent in to investigate the problem did not alert higher-ups that the 911 system was compromised. Bell is the parent company of CTV News. More officers in Manitoba are wearing body cameras than ever before. The Manitoba First Nations Police Service says all officers across its 12 detachments are now equipped with the technology. The deployment started last year. Manitoba RCMP also confirmed all of its frontline officers are wearing the technology. As of November, RCMP had already collected more than 174,000 pieces of evidence from the cameras. It may feel like the ice age outside, but one Winnipeg homeowner is taking his neighborhood back into the Jurassic era. Lee Keast has sculpted a pair of dinosaurs out of snow and ice in front of his Aberdeen Avenue home, one of them towering over the area. Keast is no stranger to sculpting. He's created a number of scenes over the past 10 years, including a race car, dragon, Santa's sleigh, and reindeer. This year's cold and thaw cycles pose a bit of a challenge as it affected the snow quality. As for Keast, he loves doing it, saying it helps him get out of the house.
It makes me feel good. That's what they're there for, is for the community to enjoy.
And Keast isn't done yet. He plans to build a dinosaur standing on two legs once he finishes some touch-ups on the existing two. Let's take a look now what's going on at Kennison and Sterling Lion Way. It looks like things are moving well starting off this Wednesday morning. We have no issues to tell you about on the drive at this point.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
A decorated globe-trotting comedian is bringing his latest show to Winnipeg.
Our pilot didn't say anything until we came to like a complete stop. And then maybe like a minute later, the cockpit door opened up and he stuck his head in and he's like, "You good?"
Gabriel Iglesias is set to take the stage at Canada Life Centre March 13th. It's part of the 1976 tour, a fluffy celebration. General tickets will be on sale Friday. Just head to fluffyguy.com. A Winnipeg illusionist, sorry about that, is proving so popular with the hometown crowd, he's added another show. Darcy Oak was set to take the Centennial Concert Hall stage the evening of October 24th, but due to high demand, he's now added an afternoon show. Oak will now perform at 3 p.m. and again at 7 p.m. Tickets for the early show go on sale Friday through the Concert Hall box office. There are still a number of tickets available, limited though, for the evening performance. David Letterman is bringing his comedic stylings to Just for Laughs Vancouver. The festival says it's the former late-night host's first time performing in Canada since 1978. He's due to appear on stage for an evening with David Letterman and special guest Zach Galifianakis on February 18th at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre. The 78-year-old comedian hosted Late Night from 1982 to 1993 and The Late Show from 1993 to 2015. And Creed will be its The Summer of '99 tour to Canada Life Centre on July 14th. The band is best known for songs like Higher, With Arms Wide Open, and One Last Breath. Creed has seen a massive resurgence in popularity over the past few years. Mammoth will open the show. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. through Ticketmaster. Your Wednesday primetime lineup starts at 7 with The Masked Singer. Fear Factor House of Fear is on at 8. Right after that, Shark Tank is on at 9, and Shifting Gears wraps things up at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV. That'll get you dancing in this temperature.
Oh my goodness. You need to keep moving when we've been dealing with the cold as it's been, although today, or at least this morning, is the best that we've seen throughout these past few days and the best that we're going to see throughout the next several days. The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. It is going to be, like I said, a little bit milder today, but not for long. We might not even get through an entire day before these temperatures really start to take a bit of a slide again. And in fact, speaking of sliding, we've dropped back a degree. We were at minus 16 last hour. We're at minus 17 right now. I do still think that we'll make some gains before we really start to slide, although that doesn't look good knowing what's about to come. But like I said, I think we're still going to see very pleasant conditions through the morning. It has been pleasant and pretty with a little bit of light snow and even some light winds. The temperatures are quite similar throughout southern Manitoba in the mid to high minus teens. Then moving up into northern Manitoba, conditions a little bit clearer. It's definitely a little bit colder, more so in those mid to high minus 20s. And then add winds on top of that, high minus 30s, even low minus 40s as far as wind chill values go throughout the north. Here in the south, in the low minus 20s with the wind chill value. Minus 23 is in fact a normal low temperature, and that's what it's sitting at right now with the winds factored in. So we are above lows that would be normal for this time of year. We just might not quite make it to what would be a normal daytime high. As the day goes on, we will enjoy a little bit of sunshine, and that temperature should get to about minus 14 before it starts to drop off again later on today. That'll happen as these winds increase again. They're light this morning, but up to 60K winds for later on this afternoon. That's when the temperature starts to drop, and there it settles into the deep freeze. That's where it's going to stay at least through the weekend. Only a slight improvement looking ahead to next week. Honey Bear and Gibson don't seem to mind the cold, though. They've been out enjoying their walks in the Winnipeg Beach area. Thanks to Rick for the photo, and keep them coming to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. Snap a pic for your chance to win with our Best in Fest contest. Festival du Voyageur returns February 13th to the 22nd. And we want to see how you're gearing up, whether it's snowshoeing, beard growing, or building a snow fort. Whatever it is, we want to see it. Upload your photo to our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, or post it to social media using the hashtag BestInFestContest. Weekly winners will be selected to win a 4-pack of passes to Festival du Voyageur. The Winnipeg Jets return from their brief sojourn in the Windy City back to the Canada Life Centre for a Tuesday night matchup against the St. Louis Blues. Jets open the scoring with about 10 minutes left in the first on the power play. This pass from Mark Scheifele to Josh Morrissey, who powers it home, and now it's 1-0 for the Jets. Just about a minute 30 later, the Jets again on the power play, and Scheifele takes it right to the Blues net. No mistake on this one either, and the Jets are up 2-0. The Blues pull to within 1, but this empty netter by Scheifele seals it for Winnipeg. The final, Jets 3, Blues 1. Winnipeg netminder Eric Comrie getting the win with 22 saves. The Jets will host the Florida Panthers on Thursday. Game time is 7 p.m. It's a popular time for hockey and ringette tournaments, but sometimes harsh winter conditions can leave teams unexpectedly stranded. But as CTV's Damian Smith tells us, that's where small prairie towns show their community spirit.
The Cooperator Center is the home for the U16 Regina Riot Ringette team, but on Friday evening, they had to find a new home.
It's a very small town. I'd never even heard of it before.
On the way to a tournament in Winnipeg, the team found themselves stranded in St. Claude, Manitoba, due to poor road visibility.
We were more just worried about the safety of the players and our bus and our families.
The town of just a little more than 600 people opened their community center for a 41-person sleepover.
Within 10 minutes, people from the community were bringing things like blankets, cots, air mattresses, pillows.
And my thought was kind of like, how are we going to feed all these people? Like, there's 41 people there, and like, we're kind of not prepared, right?
Luckily for the 7 board members of the community center, the hungry Ringette players already had a pre-packed supper.
The looks on their face were just like total shock and surprise. And, you know, they were just so grateful for everything. At one point we walked in there and they were cheering and clapping for us.
This isn't the first time the town has opened up their center for a large group of people in need. The last time was in 2019, where citizens were left without hydro for a week.
It almost makes me emotional thinking about it. But I said to my partner when I got home, I said, you know, like, doing stuff like this really like fuels my soul. Like that kind of stuff makes me so happy, being able to help people like that.
And as a goodbye, players left thank you notes for a community that became a second home. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
It's Bell Let's Talk Day. We're going to hear about some of the programs and services available at the Canadian Mental Health Association. If you're really struggling right now, stay with us. Ainsley McPhail is live with the Canadian Mental Health Association on this Bell Let's Talk Day. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. Today you have an opportunity to come on in here for a coffee chat and really connect with people aligning with the Bell Let's Talk theme. Stephen Sutherland joins us once again. Now, when it comes to mental health, we all have it. It's just we all have different ways of dealing with it.
Absolutely. We say everybody has physical health, everybody has mental health. And so it's about looking after our well-being. So when you stub your toe or you cut your finger, you want to address it. When we're feeling lonely, when we're feeling isolated, when we're worrying, we're depressed, we want people to find support and find that in their local communities.
And unfortunately, a lot of people are dealing with this. Here at the association, you guys are finding ways to give them those resources.
Yeah, so our core service resources are really about youth, about employment, about helping people learn about mental health, illness prevention, housing. You know, we're in a housing crisis, not only here in Winnipeg, in rural Manitoba, throughout our country. We want to respond in a really dignified and respectful way. And really, it's about learning that language that we call language of kindness, right? And that's what happens today. Today, we're going to be learning how do we take that moment for ourselves to kind of put that laptop down, take those AirPods out, and really listen to one another.
Oh, self-compassion. I really love that message. Something that can be helpful for our own bodies is physical wellness, and push-ups are a great way of giving back. Tell me how.
You know, our push-up challenge is happening in just a few weeks from February 5th to the 27th. We know that almost 100,000 Canadians are going to participate in Canada's largest fitness and mental health event. And so we encourage people to head over to the pushupchallenge.ca. And I think in our last segment, we're going to talk a little bit more about what that really looks like in people's workplaces.
And he's already asked me if I would do some push-ups, and I did not answer yes, did not answer no. Everybody, it's Bell Let's Talk. If you want to post on social media about it or give financially, that's fantastic too.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. All right, let's bring in Terry now. It's going to be kind of the mild part of the week today.
The best of what we've got, the best of what it's been, the best of what we're going to get. In fact, what we're going to get is even worse than what we've been dealing with. And I know it's already been a little bit of a struggle. So it is nice that we're getting just a little bit of a break from it today. Make the most of it, at least through these morning hours. This will be the best part of the day before those winds increase. Right now it's minus 17. It feels like minus 23 with a 10K wind out of the west-northwest. The pressure falls falling and the humidity sitting at 86%. Minus 23, once you're factoring in the winds, that would be a normal low temperature, but we're already several degrees above that with our actual temperature, and we're a lot closer to those seasonal daytime highs. And it feels like it's been ages since we've reached normal daytime highs, so today could be the closest that we're going to get before the real cold takes hold. Here you can see on the satellite image there are some clearer spots and still a little bit of that lingering precipitation. We might see more of those light and scattered flurries off and on throughout the day today, but they are making things look so fresh and clean. I've just been reminding you, if you are headed out for a walk, that little dusting of snow might make things a little bit slick, so just keep that in mind. Make sure you've got some good footwear on today. Minus 14 is where we're headed for our high temperature. We might reach that a little bit sooner in the day than we typically do, because once we're starting to look into the afternoon, those winds will be increasing, at times gusting to 60 clicks, and the temperatures will start to drop off big time, down to minus 29 overnight. Partly clear skies, but still that possibility of flurries continues. Winds will still be pretty noticeable overnight, and maybe still for tomorrow. A lot brighter tomorrow, but a whole lot colder. Minus 27 for our high temperature. That's not even close to a seasonal low of minus 23, and in fact, we're going to endure those temperatures through the rest of the week, through the weekend, and while we're still not back to seasonal next week, we will see some slight improvements from the low to mid or high minus 20s into the high minus teens.
Thank you, Terry. Today is Bell Let's Talk Day with a focus on youth mental health. CTV National News correspondent Paul Hollingsworth in Halifax has a very personal story to share about mental illness. Paul was in university in 1991 when he received devastating news about his brother Bryce. Since that day, Paul has been advocating for youth mental health. Joining us now to tell us more is CTV's Paul Hollingsworth. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning to you, and thank you for having me on, and good morning to all your viewers who are watching on this chilly winter morning.
Well, thank you so much for making the time for us. Normally, we journalists try to stay behind the camera, but you're putting your story out in front center today. Why is this important to you?
Look, I could answer that question 10 ways, and all the answers would be appropriate, but we'd be here all day. I will put it to you this way. I was just a kid at St. Mary's University 35 years ago, and the week before Christmas, December 16th, 1991, my older brother Bryce, he was 3 years older than me, he took his own life. I called him on a Thursday night to talk to him. I found him on a Monday morning. We buried him the next Thursday morning. And for the last 35 years, a big piece of my big brother Bryce has been buried in my heart. He's 25 years old forever. He's my best friend, my invisible best friend. He walks with me every day. I talk to him every day. And every day, look, if I could go back in time and erase that moment and have him still with me and have him be a part of my story and me a part of his story, I'd still do that. But that moment also became a turning point where I knew that if I worked hard in a certain way and lived my life a certain way and tried to stay connected in my community in a positive way, treat my friendships and relationships like personal codes of conduct, I could make maybe a difference, maybe connect with one person, maybe spare a family the pain that my family went through by just trying to shine some light on young people and people in my community. I have one basic principle, one foundational rule. If something happens to someone in my community, it happens to me. And it's a good way to live my life, I think, but in a day like today, it's a good reminder of what the mission is and what my daily artillery is when it comes to, pushing forward on this issue of staying connected to young people and people of all ages in our community to focus on mental health and let them know they're not alone.
Were there any indications with your brother that he was struggling?
Yeah, it's a good question. First of all, very normal in the early years. We were both, big hockey fans, big baseball fans, into sports, into clothing. Back in the 80s, people were preppy. We kind of dressed like that. And we had a lot in common. He was a tall, handsome guy, had a lot going for him. And if I took you back and showed you his life, say 40 years ago, you wouldn't see it coming. He slowly withdrew from friendships. A darkness, a depression started to come over him that we didn't know how to identify or talk about back in those days. He descended into alcohol and drug abuse, which is very common with people who share the same story that he had in his life. And we all in my family, my mother, my father, my two siblings, my grandmother who lived in the same house with us, we all knew something was not right. We didn't know how to tackle it. We didn't know how to talk about it. We didn't know how to reach out to him. And my attitude was, well, whatever's going on with him, he's going to shake out of it. Well, he never shook out of it, and the rest of the story is that he's no longer with us. It's a heck of a lesson to learn in life. It was a wake-up call for me. It was a turning point for me, and it's a reminder that, you know, you should always look around, look to your left, look to your right, and make sure the people who are close to you or the people in your community are doing okay. Look for those reminders, those warning signs that something might be off with somebody, and a phone call, a text message, a kind gesture, always encourage, never discourage. If we apply those things to the people in our world, maybe it can help just a little bit, just a little bit. And imagine for a moment if we did that every single day, and you could look back and say, hey, I had a positive impact on that person and that person and that person. Maybe some good comes from the terrible tragedy that happened to my brother.
Well, Paul, my deepest sympathies to you and your family, and thank you so much for sharing your personal story with us this morning.
It's my pleasure, and thank you for having me on the show. I'm very grateful to join you this morning.
Right now we're sitting at minus 17 with the wind chill. Feels like minus 23. It is cloudy out there. We'll be right back with more Your Morning Winnipeg after the break.
There's a look outside this morning, minus 17, the mildest morning that we've experienced for days, it seems. Even that wind chill value of minus 23, that would actually be a seasonal low temperature. So we're just hitting that mark with our wind chill value factored in. But minus 17 is a beautiful way to kick off your Wednesday. Light winds as well, just 10 clicks out of the west-northwest. The pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 86%. Also falling, a little bit of light snow. Oh, and later today, also falling could be those temperatures. So make the most of the morning hours. This will probably be the most pleasant, not just of the day, but of the rest of the week, because it's going to get nasty yet. You can see on the satellite image the breaks in those clouds. There has been a little bit of light snow falling. That might continue for some. Now, I've been saying it's going to be the best of the week, but I'm really talking about southern Manitoba. Look at where these temperatures are across northern Manitoba, what they're going to climb to today. This is awful. These are in the extremes now, low to mid, high minus 20s, and that's once you're reaching your expected daytime high. It'll be a little bit milder for some in the northwest. Further into the north around Lynn Lake, it really isn't going to be much better in those mid minus 20s with a little bit more sunshine. Otherwise, some heavier clouds, maybe even some scattered precipitation. For southern Manitoba, the cold hasn't really set in yet. It will. But we do have these morning hours to enjoy before that happens, so make the most of them. Minus 13, that would be a seasonal daytime high. A lot of us will get to about minus 14, just shy of those seasonal values before the temperatures start to drop off. That'll happen as the winds increase later on today, and then those winds are going to take us right on down into the deep freeze with a nasty cold air mass that's going to settle in for days. I'm talking the rest of this week and all through the weekend. That'll be the worst of it. But even once we're starting to look on the other side of the weekend, well, we'll start to improve. Minus 13, that normal daytime high for this time of year. We're still 5 degrees off the mark of that, but we're going to be closer to 10 or more degrees as we're looking throughout the rest of this week and weekend. The improvement will come with the conditions. Well, we've still got a little bit light snow falling today. There will be a lot more sunshine ahead, but that sunshine is going to come with these cold temperatures that'll stick around into the start of next week.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who is telling us all about Bell Let's Talk Day and some of the programs and services available at the Canadian Mental Health Association. And sometimes all it takes is to sit down with someone and have a cup of coffee to brighten up their day. Good morning.
Good morning, and that all starts at 10:30 this morning, Rochelle, with Coffee and Connection, an opportunity for folks to come in, maybe play a game, have a chat, and learn about the resources that you did mention. Haley Kupiak joins us now to tell us all about that. So people are coming in today.
Yeah, good morning. So Bell Let's Talk, taking a moment for our mental health is so important, and part of what we're putting on here is our Coffee and Connection event. So just having the opportunity to connect meaningfully with people, refill your cup, enjoy a warm beverage on a cold day. So giving folks the opportunity across Manitoba at our different sites.
What are some ways that we can do just that?
Yeah, so It depends on the person. So for me personally, I'm a tea girly. So love just curling up with a cup of tea. For some people, that might mean getting out in nature, going for a walk, but really intentionally setting that time for taking a moment for mental health and then doing what you need to do.
Because it is easier said than done, right? I'm sure there's some working moms watching going, okay, sure, time, where is that? But what are the best ways to squeeze it all together?
Totally. So I think a great strategy is to schedule in like a can't miss appointment. So in your calendar, where do you have that 30 minutes where you can schedule for yourself, your me time, and whatever that means for you?
And you want to encourage that connection as well because it can improve our mental health.
Totally. Yeah. Connection is so important. Loneliness is an epidemic in our country, and we know that you can be surrounded by people and still feel really lonely. So prioritizing those meaningful relationships and connecting with people when you can.
Do you have a message for anyone today watching on Bell Let's Talk Day?
Yeah, taking a moment for your mental health is super important. Making sure, we all have mental health just like physical health. So ensuring that you're taking care of yourself during these times.
Thank you so much. More coming up at 8:06.
Thank you, Ainsley. A roofing scam starts with a roofer knocking on the door and offering free inspections. But once they get up on your roof, they could say your home is in terrible shape. CTV's Pat Foran has more.
It was just before New Year's Day in Mississauga when a roofer knocked on the door of Leslie Bentley's home.
I opened the door and he was saying that I see that you need your roof done and, we're in the neighborhood and can we help?
Bentley says her shingles were getting older, so when the roofer said he could replace them, she agreed.
He told me that I needed to pay him $7,000 in cash.
The roofer said the home needed new shingles at a cost of $7,000, but once he got on top of the home, he said the roof was in terrible condition, and that's when the price jumped to $27,000. The roofer claimed Bentley's roof was in horrible shape.
It was rotten, that the wood was rotten, the struts that went down were rotten, and the whole thing needed to be replaced. I think I started to cry. I was really upset.
But before handing over any more money, Bentley called her daughter, Tracy.
I messaged back to my mom and say, do not give him any more money. I'm not sure these guys are legit.
Then Tracy's brother went up on the roof and confronted the roofers, asking to see the rotted wood, but there was no damage.
Which is not rotted. It was in fine condition. There was nothing wrong other than the fact the roof needed new shingles.
As soon as Tracy and her brother asked questions, the roofers took off in a hurry.
We look out the window, the roofers are gone, the van is gone. Everyone took off.
This security video shows the man that Bentley gave the money to. The name of the company is 24 Hours Roofing and Masonry. When CTV News called, we were hung up on twice, and our emails were not returned. Bentley had to hire another company to re-shingle her roof. She says while she regrets handing over $7,000, she's glad she wasn't scammed out of $27,000 and credits her children for helping her out.
I'm sure glad that I've got a very proactive son and daughter. I have no idea where I would be. I would be $27,000 poorer, I guess.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 9th birthday, Mason. Love Mom, Dad, Sarah, Kaden, Tika, and Daisy. Happy 74th birthday to Phyllis from your family and friends from Camp Morton Church and the gang at North 40 Ranch, and of course, Buddy. Happy 8th birthday, Devin. Love Mom, Dad, and Maddie. And a happy 80th birthday to Heather. Love from all your family and friends. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations.
All
right, minus 14 is where we're headed today, almost getting to those seasonal highs of minus 13. We just surpassed it last year, got up to minus 12.7 back in 1900. And that's when we went through a little bit of a warm stretch, 5 degrees. Yeah, we're not going through a warm stretch by any means. In fact, we've got a deep freeze that we're going to be falling into. Today is the best of anything that we can expect throughout this week. I know we've been coming out of the deep freeze. We were making this slow climb. We're clawing our way back to almost seasonal temperatures, and that's likely as good as it's going to get. We're at minus 17 currently, minus 23 with the winds factored in. Minus 23, just for a reference point, would be a seasonal low temperature. The winds are light, though, 10 kilometers per hour out of the west-northwest. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 86%. Getting closer to sunrise, and I can see there's just a couple of clouds out here. We'll actually enjoy some sunshine today. There's been a little bit of light snow falling this morning. We still could see some scattered flurries off and on throughout the day, but overall, it's so pleasant out here, especially compared to where we've been, and most definitely compared to where we're headed, because it is about to get nasty all over again. Winds increasing later today. We'll see those temperatures rise through the morning, but then as those winds increase, they'll start to drop off later on this afternoon. From there, they're going to plummet right into the deep freeze overnight, stay there through the rest of the week. Shockingly cold temperatures to come through the rest of the week and weekend, and still below seasonal as we make some slight improvements on the other side of the weekend, looking ahead to next week.
Thanks, Terry. And when it's this cold outside, it can be really hard sometimes to catch your breath, and it's an even bigger challenge for people living with lung and health issues. The Manitoba Lung Association has important reminders on how to manage these frigid winter temperatures and to breathe through it. Joining us now is Juliette Muka, the president and CEO of the Manitoba Lung Association. Good morning, Juliette. Bonjour.
Hello, Rachel.
How's it going? Now, it's so cold, it kind of takes your breath away, doesn't it?
It truly does, and sometimes it literally does as well. But Manitobans, we're used to this. We just need to learn a few little tips to help us out throughout these. Maybe not a day like today, but we've just experienced a few cold days, and there's more coming.
Yeah, no kidding. So now for people living with compromised lungs and breathing issues, how do the cold temperatures make things worse for them?
For sure. Well, this is a great reminder that the cold weather isn't just hard on your skin, like for frostbite, but it can be hard on your lungs, especially during our Manitoba winters. The cold air irritates our airways and triggers some breathing problems. And as you just mentioned, it worsens for people with lung conditions. So there are simple tips that we can provide, and especially on a day like today with Bell Let's Talk Day, and it's also National Non-Smoking Week. Here's some great tips to just be more aware of your breathing, especially when you consider can just go outside. And we want to enjoy our winters. They're so long as well. Let's enjoy it. So you go on that walk or going to play some hockey outside, make sure you have something to cover your face. Making sure as well you have a scarf and a neckband, a face mask, especially when you are breathing from your mouth. We do encourage everyone, make sure, be aware. Are you breathing from your nose? Your nose actually acts as a way to warm up the air before it gets to your lungs, because we sometimes feel when we get a gust of cold wind, you lose your breath, and that's when your airways are actually tightening due to the cold. So if we can actually breathe from our nose, use that as our insulation to warm up our lungs, that won't constrict, and it could actually be dangerous for those who already have pre-existing lung conditions.
Okay, and so those are great tips. Now, what else can you do to protect yourself?
For sure. Well, especially when you're, for those who are working outside, maybe try to minimize the amount of time that you're working outside, especially with the extreme cold weather that we've been seeing as well. For those who are having to stay more inside, making sure, well, the winter has been a little bit more on the humid side, which is very different from Manitoba, because typically we have dry winters, but making sure what is the humidity levels in your home, making sure that you have enough humidity to support your lungs as well. When you are inside, making sure that you stay well hydrated as well, because water is very good for your lungs as well. But it's just to make sure as well that, especially when you're inside, people, if they have a wood stove or they have, making sure you have good ventilation, such as when you're cooking and you have, turning on your range hoods, making sure that you are supporting yourself inside and outside. And for those who have pre-existing lung conditions, do you have your action plan? Speak with your physician or your pharmacist and making sure that you have the tips, because we need to make sure that we are staying safe during these Manitoba winters.
Juliette, during this time of year, I always find that my house personally is really, really dry. There are ways to mitigate that as well, right?
For sure. It's just making sure, one, do you have a proper humidifier in your home? Do you have a humidifier guide as well to showcase you could be between the 30 to 50% humidity levels in your home, whatever's best for you, just to make sure that we can try to eliminate personal some flare-ups as well, especially for those who do have pre-existing lung conditions like asthma, COPD, pulmonary fibrosis, lung cancer, and so on. Maybe checking as well on some older adults or checking your kids who have, if they have smaller airways and they could be more sensitive as well. People working outside or people recovering from respiratory infections, making sure they're okay, and as well checking with your doctor or pharmacist about your seasonalization to protect your respiratory system.
And of course, if you want more information on ways to protect your lungs at this time of year, we have a link on our website as well. Thank you, Juliette. Merci.
Merci.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for it, we take you to Winnipeg, where the Jets were hosting the Blues. St. Louis has themselves a 2-on-1. Cam Fowler, the shot, mostly stopped by Eric Comrie, but it trickles towards the net, and Nito Niederreiter gets back and pulls it off the goal line. Look at this. The puck was rolling into the net until Niederreiter earned himself a free dinner from Eric Comrie, and also our must-see moment. And coming up tonight on TSN, we've got some Raptors basketball. The Raps are in Sacramento to take on the Kings. Coverage for that one gets underway at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
These high school students are earning high marks in fades. London, Ontario's Westminster Secondary School is now offering a barbering course. Many of the students were already DIY barbers who learned through online videos. Now they're getting hands-on training with all the proper equipment. The class is also a way for fellow students to get a free haircut. Here's a look at what's happening outside now on Provencher Bridge. Things appear to be moving well over here. A little bit slippery out there, though, so be mindful of that. We'll be back after this with your 8 o'clock headlines. It's Wednesday, January 21st. Population milestone. Winnipeg reaches a significant growth marker, but the celebration is tempered by some accompanying pressures. 911 lawsuit. Plaintiffs allege systemic telecom deficiencies in one rural Manitoba community led to a man's death from a fatal cardiac event. And a recreational sport derived from tennis is seeing a surprising spike in serious injuries. What observers say is causing calamity on the court. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock on your Wednesday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Coming up at about 8:45, if you have an event that's coming up, I have so many dresses in my closet. You wear them once, and that's about it, right? Especially if it's a gala or a fancy event, a wedding, that kind of thing. But what if you were able to rent an outfit just for the night? You get to wear it, you look fabulous, and then you just return it. It's done. It's not
way better on the budget.
Exactly. So we're going to find out about this new service. It's called Rent My Style. They have a really cool Instagram account as well, showing you some of the fashion that's out there and some of the styles that you could just borrow for one night, which would be fun. We're going to have them at 8:45.
Lovely. Yeah. So if you've got some events coming up, all I would say is make sure that if your events are over the next couple of days, you've got a big warm parka to throw on over that gown, because we are going to be experiencing cold like we haven't experienced it yet. And I know that's a lot to say because we've experienced a lot of cold so far. Sitting right now at -17 with a wind chill value of -23, a fairly mild start to your day, all things considering. We've got light winds as well. They're 10 clicks out of the west-northwest. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 86%. Today is definitely going to be the mildest day of the week so far. It's been incredibly cold since the weekend, and we are getting just a brief break through the morning hours. It might not even last through the entire day, this slight reprieve that we're enjoying. You can see sky already looking a little bit clearer through parts of northern Manitoba. It's even colder yet, and that cold air mass will be moving into the southern part of the province as well. We've been watching a little bit of light snow that's almost tapering off, but it doesn't mean that we won't see more of it throughout the day today. The possibility of those off and on scattered flurries is there. And then the sky clearing out. I've talked about it getting cold. It will get clearer. We're about to see a lot more sunshine through the latter part of the week and into the weekend, but the extreme cold temperatures will be settling in and is going to begin later on this afternoon. We should get to a high of about -14 later on through the day, but then into the afternoon, those temperatures start to slide right into the deep freeze overnight. From there, we're staying with those deep freeze temperatures throughout the coming weekend, and only a slight improvement in the early part of next week. You might wonder, was this a pickle or a caterpillar? It's actually Frosty, and I love what you've done here, Natalie. I love your choice of colors. So unexpected, and we love a little bit of a surprise. So keep the pictures coming, please. Send your art to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Winnipeg has hit a major milestone. The city's population has surpassed 850,000 residents, according to new data from Statistics Canada. The data shows growth is coming from people moving to Winnipeg from other countries and from babies being born here. However, it also reveals we're losing people to other provinces or even other municipalities right here in Manitoba. Mayor Scott Gillingham says hitting 850,000 residents is worth celebrating for the most part.
I think a real sense of momentum and growth and excitement, but it also does come with some of the challenges, the demands on our city services. We talk about the demands on transit, on our recreation services, on policing, paramedics, firefighters, our calls to 911, our emergency services.
Gillingham says the city needs to keep building houses and secure federal and provincial funding for the third phase of the North End sewage treatment plant in order to sustain this growth. The family of a Fisher Branch man who suffered a fatal heart attack in March during a 911 outage is suing its telecom service provider. In the statement of claim, Dean Switzer's brother, Greg, accuses TELUS of neglecting its duty to provide continuous 911 service, failing to properly train its workers on what to do if the system fails, and making sure a proper fail-safe was in place. It goes on to say Dean's death was a direct result of those alleged failures, and he would have survived had the 911 service been working. In a brief statement to CTV News, a TELUS spokesperson acknowledged the grief Switzer's family is going through and says the company has taken a number of steps to make its network more resilient. No statement of defense has been filed and none of the claims have been tested in court. TELUS previously acknowledged there was a 38-hour outage during that time, but instead laid the blame on another telecom company, Bell, saying it only leases the 911 network. It also said the technicians sent to investigate the problem did not alert higher-ups that the 911 system was compromised. Bell is the parent company of CTV News. U.S. President Donald Trump has just landed in Davos right now for a speech at the World Economic Forum. His plane touched down in Zurich about an hour ago. The flight was delayed by several hours after Air Force One needed to turn back for what's being called a minor electrical issue. Trump is set to deliver a speech today, which of course comes after he threatened tariffs on Denmark and 7 other allies if they aren't willing to negotiate a U.S. takeover of Greenland. You're going to have a cow when you see this. Veronica, the 13-year-old Swiss brown cow, is proving she's probably the sharpest tool in the barn. Veronica is clever enough to use this broom to scratch wherever she itches. She even chooses between the handle and brush end, depending on which part of her body she wants to reach, which makes her a multi-tool user. Veronica has a pretty great life. She lives in Austria and has always just been a pet, but plus she's kind of a genius. Here's a look now at what's going on the St. James Bridge. It looks like things have picked up over here, but overall moving quite well. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see any problems out there, though, please let us know. You can text them to us. Let's go to Ainsley now, who is live at the Canadian Mental Health Association this morning for Bell Let's Talk Day. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. The saying is true. You can be in a room full of people and still feel lonely. The Canadian Mental Health Association is trying to give you guys at home some tools so that you can feel less alone. Haley's joining me once again. So when people come in today for the Coffee and Connection, you're helping them out with this difficult time.
Yeah, for sure. Loneliness is such an epidemic in our country, and you can be surrounded by people and still be missing those deep, intimate connections. So this space is really an opportunity for folks to connect, to share light stories and share a warm beverage together, and to feel really seen and heard rather than just, you know, swiped away.
And connection's so important, but you want to be around the right people.
Yeah, for sure. It's really important to spend time with people that fill your cup up, that help you become your best self, and those people that really see the best in you.
And when it comes to mental health, buzzwords tend to be thrown around. For example, self-care. When you hear self-care, it's like, okay, I'll put the cucumbers on my eyes. Now what? But what does it really mean?
Yeah, so this year's Bell Let's Talk theme is taking a moment for mental health. And so we have taken that as a very intentional action. So actually putting that 30 minutes in your calendar for me time, whatever that looks like for you. Is it taking a walk? Is it enjoying a cup of tea? And really acting on that intention.
And it sounds like, one, we need to prioritize it, but also we need to be more, I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for is, certain that, hey, this is my time. Selfless, if we're really thinking about it.
Right. Yeah. You can only give to others what you have for yourself, right? We all have mental health. And so this is just a wonderful opportunity to break down that stigma and start looking after our own mental health, just like physical health.
And you know what? My cup is actually empty, so I'm going to need to, it was just a prop.
Okay.
So I'm going to need to fill that up later today.
Apparently, yes. Okay. Thank you, Ainsley. With pickleball more popular than ever, there are growing calls to address the use of so-called crushed paddles. They can send balls flying at high speeds, and many say the paddles threaten both the integrity and the safety of the sport. CTV's Martin McMahon reports.
At the Hollyburn Country Club in West Vancouver, eye protection is now mandatory for competitive play. While accidents are rare, they can be serious, and some in the pickleball community are warning about so-called crushed paddles, where the honeycomb core becomes compromised. It creates a trampoline effect where the ball can spring at a faster than normal speed.
And it causes these newer paddles to hit the ball harder and to have the ball come off faster off the face.
There are ways you can check your paddle according to Pickleball BC.
If you push the paddle in the middle, you'll hear cracking or it'll be spongy. So then you have to decide, well, do I still play with this and have an unfair advantage and maybe hurt somebody? No, we're not going to do that. So I'm going to get a new paddle.
Pickleball is generally played at a slower pace than other racket sports, allowing athletes to extend their playing days.
Our average age in our group is 81 and up. So you're looking at some players that are 87, 88. They're still playing. Probably not as well as they were 10 years ago, let's say, but they are playing, and it's great to see them out, getting exercise, and just enjoying the game.
But concerns over crushed paddles is renewing the discussion over the use of goggles or glasses. Darlene Lanchbury lost an eye in 2022 playing the sport in Williams Lake and urges everyone to protect their eyes.
The ball comes at you at a very high rate of speed from a very short distance, and your reaction time is a fraction of a second. Many high-level players have been hit in the eye, and you can get hit by your own teammate.
While the sport's proponents believe safety is key, they emphasize the health benefits of staying active, with 21,500 members registered with Pickleball BC. Martin McMahon, CTV News, West Vancouver.
We're taking a look through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Looking a little bit brighter out there, minutes away from sunrise. I don't have very good news for you, though. That temperature dropped off again, a couple of degrees this time. Now, I really hope this isn't indicative of the slide that I've been talking about, because I did hope that we were going to rise a couple of degrees over the course of the morning before that slide happened. But we're now sitting at minus 19 as that sky is starting to clear a little more. The snow has tapered off, so there's some good news right now. It is a little bit milder in areas off to the west, minus 13, Morden Winkler through Portage, minus 14 right now in Dauphin. We've got Brandon coming in at minus 18. So not much warmer than where we're sitting right now, but much colder yet is up through the north with extreme cold warnings in place. You're sitting right now in those mid to high minus 20s and won't see much improvement throughout the day today. Wind chills factored in, pushing you into the minus 40s. Exposed skin can freeze very, very quickly in these conditions. And as cold as it is, we can expect to deal with that kind of cold, especially as these temperatures do continue to fall. Right now, we're just seeing those breaks in the clouds, and with waiting for the sun to rise. That'll be happening in a few minutes' time. But winds, which were on the lighter side this morning, will likely increase through the afternoon, and that's when we're expecting to really see those temperatures take a bit of a turn. Although, as I mentioned, they're not rising as I expected them to. I thought we were headed up to a high of -14, and we might still get there. And then later on this afternoon, as those winds increase, temperatures starting to drop off, and the drop will be steep down into the high -20s. And barely budging much for tomorrow. We'll see a lot more sunshine in the rest of the week and weekend, but frigid temperatures settling in, lows in the -30s, and even for next week, not much of an improvement as we're climbing or stuck in the high -teens. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Another Canadian company is moving its headquarters to the U.S. GFL Environmental says it's relocating from the Toronto area to Miami Beach, but its jurisdiction of incorporation will remain Ontario. GFL's CEO says, quote, consistent with our desire to access a wider global investor base across both passive and active strategies, the relocation of our executive headquarters broadens our eligibility for participation in U.S. equity indices while preserving our eligibility for inclusion in Canadian equity indices. A KPMG survey last year found around 50% of Canadian companies were considering moving parts or all of their operations to the U.S. OpenAI says it will minimize water use and pay for energy infrastructure upgrades needed to power its data centers. We're being good neighbors, the company says, directly addressing the growing opposition to AI projects amid rising utility bills. We commit to paying our own way on energy so that our operations don't increase your electricity prices. That's from OpenAI. Microsoft made a similar promise in the last year. The number of data center projects canceled in the U.S. doubled in 2025 compared to 2024. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
The cold temperatures, the short days, and the long nights. Winter can take a real toll on people's mental health. More people are staying inside to escape the cold, and that may leave many feeling alone and isolated. Joining us now to give us tips on how to get through these dark winter days is registered clinical psychologist Dr. Kristen Reynolds. Good morning, Dr. Reynolds.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for joining us. Now, why is this time of year so difficult for some people?
It's challenging for so many different reasons. And as humans, we all have our own unique drivers to what keeps us well and mentally healthy. But on the whole, we know that Canadians face shorter days, less sunlight, and that sunlight really does have an impact on how we feel from day to day, our mood, our energy level, our sleep-wake cycle. So that sunlight really does make a difference for most of us.
What would be signs that you're just not feeling right and you might be struggling?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really a chronic low mood for at least a couple of weeks would be a sign that even if you do your sort of typical coping techniques, you're reaching out for support from your loved ones, you're trying to engage in activities, that mood is unshifting. If you're noticing an impact on your functioning in terms of your relationships, your work, your parenting, those aspects of your life that keep you feeling fulfilled, if they're impacted by your mood, by sleeping too much or too little, or appetite, if you're feeling that hopeless feeling that sort of won't go away, those are some signs that seeking some help might be warranted.
And what should you do proactively to combat the winter blues from setting in?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, going back to we're all unique, and we might have our own interests, hobbies, goals, and it's really important that we activate during these winter months. There can be such a proneness to sort of want to come in and curl up and isolate from others. But as we know, during this current cold snap in Manitoba, our winters can be quite long. long. And so if we isolate for too long, it can have a cognitive impact. It can have an emotional impact on us as well. So reaching out and connecting socially can be a really important one for most of us, that keeps us healthy and well, and can ward off some of the winter blues that we might feel. So though we might want to sort of draw inward, trying to connect at least once a day over telephone, over Zoom, or in person with people who we trust and love, opening up, talking about how we're doing, how they're doing, can be really important for our mental health. And staying with a routine as well, with a sleep-wake routine that works, engaging in activities that keep us feeling full in terms of meaning and purpose, can be really helpful this time of year.
And if someone you love is struggling, what should you do to help them?
Have open, honest conversations with them about what's going on, and just being there as a source of support.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us this morning. Thank you, Dr. Reynolds.
Thank you so much for having me.
The little one in the background popped in at the last minute. I love that so much. How's it feeling out there, Terry?
Not bad. I wasn't sure what I was going to step out to, because I was telling you 10 minutes ago about how the temperature started to drop off. But I came out here and I'm thinking, oh, this still feels quite nice. A very calm morning with light winds and the warmest temperatures that we've had for days, or will have for the next stretch of days. So I will still say, even though it started to cool, make the most of this morning, get outside, plan your walk early before those winds pick up, because they will be a big factor throughout the day today. It's minus 19 at the moment, feeling like minus 27, so you do still need all those layers on. The winds, they're on the lighter side still at 12 kilometers per hour. They're out of the west-northwest with the pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 88%. I can see the sunshine though, and maybe that's what's putting the smile on my face this morning. It's looking pretty good out here. There's a few clouds, don't get me wrong, but we will enjoy pockets of sunshine today. We were seeing some light snow earlier this morning, and we still could see some scattered flurries off and on throughout the day. I am still hopeful that these temperatures will rise another couple of degrees. Either way, it's still better than it's been, or better than it will be, because we are expecting to have these temperatures really take a nosedive, plummeting into the deep freeze and then just holding there throughout the rest of this weekend into the coming weekend. We're looking at overnight lows in the minus 30s and daytime highs in the mid to high minus 20s. So expect some extreme cold warnings to be issued. They've already been issued across northern Manitoba. Here in the southern part of the province, we do have some blowing snow advisories in areas just to the west of us. And we too will notice those winds increasing with that light bit of snow that fell today. We could be seeing that whipping around as well. This is Honey Bear and Gibson out for their stroll. Get those dogs out. If nothing else, they'll force you to get out for a little bit of fresh air and exercise. Thanks to Rick for the photo, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
It's a popular time for hockey and ringette tournaments, but sometimes harsh winter conditions can leave teams unexpectedly stranded. But as CTV's Damian Smith tells us, that's where small prairie towns show their community spirit.
The Cooperator Center is the home for the U16 Regina Riot Ringette team, but on Friday evening they had to find a new home.
It's a very small town. I'd never even heard of it before.
On the way to a tournament in Winnipeg, the team found themselves stranded in St. Claude, Manitoba, due to poor road visibility.
We were more just worried about the safety of the players and our bus and our families.
The town of just a little more than 600 people opened their community center for a 41-person sleepover.
Within 10 minutes, people from the community were bringing things like blankets, cots, air mattresses, pillows.
And my thought was kind of like, how are we going to feed all these people? Like, there's 41 people there, and like, we're kind of not prepared, right?
Luckily for the 7 board members of the community center, the hungry ringette players already had a pre-packed supper.
The looks on their face were just like total shock and surprise. And, you know, they were just so grateful for everything. At one point we walked in there and they were cheering and clapping for us.
This isn't the first time the town has opened up their center for a large group of people in need. The last time was in 2019, where citizens were left without hydro for a week.
It almost makes me emotional thinking about it. But I said to my partner when I got home, I said, you know, like, doing stuff like this really like fuels my soul. Like that kind of stuff makes me so happy, being able to help people like that.
And as a goodbye, players left thank you notes for a community that became a second home. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
The strongest solar storm in more than 20 years produced a spectacular show in the skies above Canada. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth has the highlights.
Hilde van den Heuvel never imagined waking up to such a stunning sight.
I could see the rays in the sky, and so I knew they were there.
A retired photographer, she never misses an opportunity to capture pictures of the Northern Lights and post them on social media.
I just get so excited when the Northern Lights are out. It's a hobby, and it's a lot of fun.
Astronomers say the Northern Lights lit up the sky with a palette of sparkling colors, beginning late Monday night, lasting until early Tuesday morning.
For so many people across Canada and the United States, they had an extremely intense display of red, green, northern lights.
The northern lights happen when charged particles are released from the sun and enter the atmosphere. The scientific community has ranked this latest solar storm as the most intense aurora event in more than 20 years.
The way that it interacted with our magnetic field sort of waned and increased and decreased again over the course of the night.
According to Tiffany Fields, we are not getting more Northern Lights displays than in the past. Scientific technology has come a long way, giving experts the ability to predict when the Northern Lights are going to happen so more people can see them.
And it allows us to just look up into the sky and wonder what is happening.
And participate in a shared experience, watching the nighttime sky dance with vivid colors. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
So beautiful if you're lucky enough to see it. We have a traffic note to tell you about Inkster Boulevard at King Edward Street. There is a motor vehicle crash that is blocking the westbound curb lane in that area, so keep left and use caution when you're passing. Here's a look at what's happening on St. Mary's. It's pretty slow here as well. We'll be right back.
Might be the best morning that we've had in a several-day stretch, or what we're going to experience in a several more day stretch. Minus 19 is where we're currently sitting, enjoying that sun shining over the city, at least through some of those clouds. It's looking a little bit brighter. The winds are still on the lighter side, 12 clicks out of the west-northwest. The pressure is falling, and the humidity is sitting at 88%. So it is looking like we've got some pockets of sunshine to enjoy. That snow from earlier on this morning has tapered off. We might still see it off and on throughout the day today, but we should enjoy moments of sunshine as well. These temperatures, they've dropped off a couple of degrees so far over the course of the morning, and I really only thought that they were going to rise till about midday. I'm still optimistic that they might, now that the sun is up, rise another couple of degrees to about minus 14. Now, that's technically still a little bit shy of seasonal. Minus 13 would be that normal daytime high, but I never intended or expected. I didn't intend. I'm not making the weather. I'm just telling you what it's going to be like. I never expected them to stay as mild as they are, because this afternoon, I put that asterisk there, they're likely to drop off with those winds increasing out of the northwest, getting it to about 60 kilometers per hour. We could see some blowing snow, especially with those light flurries that have been off and on. Dropping down into the deep freeze overnight, headed to a low of minus 29 with those strong winds, and from minus 29, only rising a couple degrees tomorrow. So brace yourself. The cold is about to get very real, even more so. I know it's been cold up until now, but where we're headed will be even worse, with lows in the low minus 30s and those daytime highs only in those mid minus 20s, high minus 20s at times. Next week, we'll only see a slight improvement, still not back to seasonal, but we should be getting up into the high teens after being stuck in the mid 20s for the weekend.
The new leader of Manitoba's Liberal Party is changing up his playbook by taking a crack at a seat currently held by the NDP.
I just feel that River Heights represent the Liberal Party in a very big way.
Former Winnipeg Blue Bomber Willard Reeves has been Liberal leader for a few months, but does not have a seat in the legislature. Reeves ran twice unsuccessfully in Fort White, losing to PC leader Abhi Khan. Now he's putting his name forward in River Heights, a seat former Liberal leader John Gerard held onto for nearly 2.5 decades before the NDP took it in the last election. Pollster Curtis Brown says Reeves's change of focus from Fort White to River Heights is logical.
there is a certain base of Liberal support there in the province, probably more so than in Lindenwoods and the Fort White riding. So yeah, it makes sense.
I'm excited about Willard running in River Heights. There's lots of Liberals in River Heights.
Gerard is backing Reeves and plans on door knocking with him too, but Brown says it will be a challenge for Reeves to beat incumbent NDP MLA and Cabinet Minister Mike Morose. Reeves will likely officially become the Liberal candidate in River Heights today when the party holds a joint nomination meeting. We're now hearing from Saskatchewan's Premier on the new tariff deal that was struck with China last week.
Very, very significant to our Saskatchewan farmers, to all of our exporters, to the processing industry here in the province. But it's also important to the Canadian agriculture industry, and I would say equally important to the Canadian economy.
Back on Saskatchewan soil, Premier Scott Moe spoke about what the agreement means for his province. As part of the deal, Canada will allow 49,000 Chinese-made electric vehicles into the Canadian market at a 6.1% tariff rate. And in exchange, China is expected to lower its duties on canola seed and drop its tariffs on canola meal, lobsters, crabs, and peas. The Canola Council of Canada says the agreement couldn't have come at a better time, with many farmers still storing last year's crop. Canola oil was left out of the deal and remains subject to a 100% tariff. We have a new troubling snapshot about how Canadians feel about getting older. CTV's Maria Saru highlights the struggles and the gaps in support for those in need.
Cards slide and flip face down before the next hand of bridge hits the table. It's a familiar game for these folks, played with familiar faces. And for some seniors, it's a chance to mingle and make new friends.
If you're left on your own, what's there for you?
David Blackiere mans this front desk one day a week, ticking off members' names as they arrive.
Bill's in.
It's part of how he stays connected to his community here at the Seniors Active Living Centre. The National Institute on Aging surveyed thousands of people 50 plus and found optimism about getting older fell from 62% in 2024 to 57% in 2025. Another 57% also reported experiencing loneliness, with 43% at risk of social isolation.
Social isolation is akin to the kind of outcomes we see with chronic disease. So it can really reduce somebody's ability to live a healthy, independent life.
The biggest barriers differ depending on the age group.
For the 50 to 64-year-olds, affordability was definitely the number one. For the older cohort of older adults, the 80 plus, the number one barrier was around health limitations.
That's why both affordability and accessibility mattered. And Blackiere says a low-cost membership for the center helps.
We're providing something here that is very healthy for them. I've heard 90-year-olds and well into the 90-year-olds saying, oh my gosh, Dave, if we didn't have this, what would we do?
Experts say community-based seniors organizations like this center need more investment, with many relying on unsteady funding and volunteer support. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
Here's a look now at Portage Avenue at Polo Park. Things look good here, but we do have a traffic alert on Henderson near Noble. A stalled vehicle is blocking the southbound curb lane, so expect delays for southbound Henderson back to Monroe. If you have any other traffic tips to share, please text them to us at 10400. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.27. The provincial average is $1.19. In Winnipeg, the average is slightly lower at $1.18. And the lowest price in the city is $1.09. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. For our question of the day, today is Bell Let's Talk Day. So we asked, what do you do to take care of your mental health? Susan said she just lost her daughter. I'm sorry, Susan, and she is seeing a psychiatrist. My condolences to you. Stacy enjoys the open road and loud music to clear her mind. Marlene shared a nature drive is free therapy, music and a bath to soothe the mind, takes someone for coffee and makes someone's day. Auntie Nina says make sure to she expresses her feelings, good or bad, and to let the people who have surrounded and supported her know how much they mean. And Craig meditates to help clear his mind. Thank you so much for your responses. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about Bell Let's Talk Day throughout the day, and you're with the Canadian Mental Health Association. Good morning, Ainsley.
Rochelle, good morning. And you know what? You were right on theme with that question of the day, taking a moment for our mental health. Those are very great ways to do just that. Thank you for our viewers who chimed on in. Canadian Mental Health Association, Stephen Sutherland's joining me once again. Tell us about this theme, and you guys are actually inviting people in today.
Absolutely. So we want people to take the moment for mental health, coffee, conversation, building the capacity so we can be present for ourselves and for each other.
Physical fitness is an exceptional way to do this. I personally love a good walk, a good sweat walk. But push-ups also, what am I alluding to there?
Well, just like we're trying to create a movement for creating a moment, we want to create a movement for movement. And so the push-up challenge is just that. It's our third national, our third year for this national campaign to promote physical health, but also mental health. And it's the largest fitness and mental health event in our country. And so we want people on February 5th to push up for mental health, and that is 2,000 push-ups in 23 days. So each day you're going to get a number, but you're also going to get a mental health fact and promotion piece, because it's about educating ourselves, educating our workplaces. And so this is for workplaces. I can see you all at the station, all doing push-ups in the morning. It's going to be amazing. But being able to educate each other, really foster connection in that workplace. Everybody wants to show up to a workplace that they want to be at. And that starts with connection, and it starts with really just being open about what's going on, and mental health promotion, and this allows for that to happen.
Well, we got to get the blood flowing somehow.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, you wanted to show.
Yeah, there is our mental health push-up challenge. So we encourage everybody to head over to thepushupchallenge.ca. This is going to be one of our largest national campaigns for raising funds. We're looking to raise over $6 million across Canada.
I hope people at home are seeing this. They take part, their workplaces take part, they donate, or they smile at someone today and exhibit some general empathy. How about that?
Every
Back
day,
to you.
really. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Terry's smiling through the cold today.
Yeah, I just pulled the hood up a little bit. I was feeling a little bit of a breeze on the back of my neck that I wasn't loving. I've got a toque for my walk home today. You know, I will say, I've been walking home. No, Monday I didn't. I got a ride with my camera guy. Yesterday, I did walk home in those temperatures and still plan on bundling up for the next few days. I always say, bundle up, get outside, just for a few minutes. You don't have to be out there long. And in fact, some days it can be dangerous to be outside for too long. Like through northern Manitoba today, we do have extreme cold warnings in place, and we will likely find those warnings issued over the next few hours as we slide into the deep freeze too. But for this morning, we're getting a little bit of a break from the extremes. -19 is where we're sitting right now, feeling like -27, but the winds are still light, 12 clicks out of the west-northwest. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 88%. Seeing some blue sky through these clouds. They're not super heavy clouds, so pockets of sunshine to enjoy today, along with the slightly milder temperatures, probably the best of what we'll experience over the rest of this week, because yes, that deep freeze will be even nastier than where we came from. I know it was cold over the weekend and the start of the week, but where we're headed is going to get worse yet. Northern Manitoba today won't even get out of those high -20s, and that's where we're headed overnight, and we'll stay there for the rest of the week. We've got our low temperatures that'll be taking us into those low to mid -30s, and daytime highs in the mid to high -20s, and that's where we'll stay for the rest of this week and into the coming weekend. Only a slight improvement on the other side of that, so brace yourself for a little bit of a stretch of the extreme cold temperatures, but there will be some sunshine. Good news. We're taking a break. We'll see you soon with more CTV Morning Live.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Good morning. There's a lot of concern about the amount of time children are spending on screens. Now, a new public health survey suggests it's a growing issue among adults as well. CTV's Matt Gilmore reports.
A growing number of adults in Montreal are spending more and more of their personal time on screens.
Maybe 4 hours a day, 3 hours a day?
Probably 2.5 hours on the week and 3 on the weekends.
At least 2 or 3 hours.
According to Montreal Public Health, in 2018, most Montrealers spent less than 2 hours a day on screens. 39% spent 2 to 4 hours, and just 16% 4 hours plus. Fast forward to 2025, and the picture is a little different. 45% now spend 2 to 4 hours, and nearly 23% are on their screens more than 4 hours per day.
When we hit the level of 4 hours and more, this is where we are more concerned because it's considered to be an intense use of screen.
Sylvia Carouse is a gambling and addiction expert at Concordia University. She helped conduct the public health survey and says mostly people are happy with their screen usage, with the exception of one age group.
That level of satisfaction decreases in a significant way by the 18 to 34.
Montrealers we spoke to almost unanimously said they're hoping to reduce their screen time in 2026.
It takes me away from doing other things that I need to do.
Could be less, but most of the things are now happening through those devices, hence it's becoming more and more complicated.
I think we're just addicted to our phones, honestly. Like, everyone says, oh, we're not, but I think we really are.
Carew says it's a good idea to keep track of your screen time and to ask yourself whether you're in full control.
When the number is shocking for us and we're not realizing that, we have to really question to which extent this is taken from time that should be dedicated to other things that were healthy in people's life, like exercising, going out, socializing, connecting with people.
She says she hopes the study will start a conversation about regulating social media algorithms to make them less addictive. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
Do you have a gala coming up, a wedding you've been invited to, or a special occasion approaching real fast and you need something to wear? Well, buying a new dress you might only wear once can be expensive and wasteful. But now there's a new option for that special event. Instead of buying an outfit, you can rent one. The service is called Rent My Style, and it helps women find outfits to wear without breaking the bank. And joining us now to tell us more is the founder of Rent My Style, Melissa Alexander. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, this happens to all of us. You know, you have an event going on, you buy that awesome dress, you pay lots of money for it, and then what happens after the event's over?
And then it stays in the back of your closet to let us till the dawn of time.
Right, because you don't want to get caught wearing it twice if you're hanging out with the same people, right?
Nobody ever wants to wear the same outfit twice, especially if it ends up on your social media. If there's a picture taken of it, then it's dead to you.
But that's not good for the planet to have that kind of thing happen either, right? It's sort of fast fashion and then it just sits there.
So fashion is actually one of the biggest polluters of our planet right now, especially if you take into consider the fast fashion. So there are landfills all over the world that are just mountains and mountains of clothing.
Oh, that's horrible. Okay, so Rent My Style, how did that idea pop into your mind?
So I've been actually a stylist for many years, and I actually do a lot of closet organization. So when I'm in the closet with my clients helping them sort out, everyone had those like 2 or 3 dresses that were just collecting dust that like maybe I was a bridesmaid, maybe I wore this dress to Mexico, maybe I took it wherever to whatever special occasion, and then they just never wore it again.
Oh my goodness. And so you decided to come up with this idea. So how does it work, Rent My Style? What do you do?
So as a personal stylist and as a professional thrifter, what I do is I source secondhand dresses from all around the city.
Yeah.
So then people come, they can book my service, and then I help you find an outfit appropriate for your occasion. So you can wear it to wherever your destination, you bring it back to me. I also have cleaning services involved, so you don't even have to clean it when you're done, and then someone else can wear it again.
That is incredible, and you have a lot of options for people as well. Tell us a little bit about some of the different sizes that you offer and the many different services as well.
So fashion is for everyone and for everybody, so I make sure that I have the full size run from 0 to 4X.
Okay.
And then also fashion means something different to everyone, so we have, you know, a little bit more casual, like today my dress is part from the collection, but also if you want to go full on gala, if you're a bride, if you're a bridesmaid, we can also help you out there as well.
You can rent a bridal dress?
You absolutely can rent a bridal dress.
Okay, well, you brought some example of dresses here, so show us what you got.
So these are some of my favorite ones that every time a client comes in, they say, ooh, I love it.
Yeah.
So here actually is a good example of our bridal dress. So here's one of our bridal dresses here.
Ooh, I love it.
So we have many different versions of this.
It's beautiful.
And then this one also is another favorite. This also is a real popular bridesmaid dress.
This is also really nice for a gala without having to be too fancy, right?
Everyone has a different version of how they want to be dressed up. So I try to make sure that the service is always about the client and not what I think they want to wear,
right,
and how they feel comfortable. So some people feel comfortable a little bit more dressed down. Like I even have pant options as well too, because not everyone wants to wear a dress too. So it's really about covering the service according to your needs.
Okay, and what else do you have here?
So we also have, oh, this is one of my favorite. As I said, because we cover plus sizes as well.
Gold.
So this is another one of our really popular ones. This one does well too for mother of the bride.
Okay, yeah. And again, it's so affordable, so easy. You kind of get the shopping experience without paying for the shopping price.
Well, you don't really want the shopping experience because a lot of times it can feel overwhelming. You go into the mall, or if you go into the thrift store, however you like to shop, it's so much. So that's the beauty of kind of hiring a stylist. They like tailor it to you. So on your way to the appointment, I already know, okay, like this selection is for you. So I kind of tailor it to you.
Make it easy for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, if you want more information on this service, we have a link on our website. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, minus 19, feeling like minus 27. There is some sunshine out there, a few extra clouds by that particular view, but more pockets of sunshine than we've seen over the past few days. We've got winds out of the west-northwest, 12 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, and the humidity sitting at 88%. And in fact, we'll see increasing amounts of sunshine in the stretch of days ahead, but we're also going to feel increasingly cold temperatures. Here you can see it's already beginning to clear out, but northern Manitoba is under extreme cold warnings. The only warnings here through southern Manitoba have to do with blowing snow, because we will be noticing that wind increasing later on today. And as that wind increases, the temperatures will likely be dropping off. We might get close to that seasonal temperature of minus 13, but this will be the best day of the week because it only gets colder from here, falling into the deep freeze overnight, staying there through the rest of the week and the weekend, with our daytime highs in those mid to high minus 20s and our overnight lows pushing us into those minus 30s, and only a slight improvement as we look ahead to next week. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, we're going to send you off on your way this Wednesday with some fun video. We kick things off with the patient princess waiting to become a little monster.
Here comes your song.
Oh yeah, little Margaret was a pretty princess until her song came on. And then like a proud fan of Lady Gaga, she danced to the song Stupid Love like the little monster she is. I love that.
She's feeling it. I'm here for it.
Look at that face. Oh yeah, she's in.
Yes.
Now to a kitty who likes to keep warm in the cutest way.
Yeah.
And this little guy was cuddled in its owner's jacket. When the coat opened up, the kitty immediately pawed to close it. That's how we're going to feel tomorrow for sure. And lastly, you're going to have a cow when you see this. Veronica, the 13-year-old Swiss brown cow, is proving she's probably the sharpest tool in the barn. She's clever enough to use this broom to scratch wherever it itches. Veronica has a pretty great life. She lives in Austria and has always just been a pet. Plus, she's a genius.
Aw, thank you.
That does it for us. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.